Trade Union Federation COSATU has welcomed the saving of Tonga Chilet after the Durban High Court allowed its business rescue practitioners to withdraw their liquidation application. This was filed earlier this year after the company's rescue plan stalled as a result of funding challenges. The practitioners have now signed a deal with the IDC and investment group Vision Consortium to implement the sugar producers' business rescue plan. COSATU's Matthew Parks.
This announcement gives hope and comfort to the 250,000 workers and their families, communities and SMMEs along the entire value chain. We are pleased that this intervention ensures that this cornerstone South African company remains in South African hands.
The Western Cape High Court will hear final arguments today in a legal battle between Cape Union Mart and the Palestinian Solidarity Campaign related to protests outside the retailer stores. Lawyers for the campaign yesterday argued the retailer failed to meet the legal requirements for a final interdict. The applicants argue the business has been subjected to defamatory and accusations of funding genocide in Israel. Carlo Peterson reports.
The Palestinian Solidarity Campaign's lawyer, advocate Ismail Jamie, told the court slogans used during the protests in question amount to protected political speech and hyperbole, not defamation. Jamie says the interdict, if granted, will silence lawful protest, adding there's no evidence the PSC caused harm for the court to grant a final interdict. Lawyers for the retailer argue its chairperson, Philip Kravitz, is falsely accused of funding genocide in Israel, which has harmed his reputation and dignity. Final arguments are set to be heard today. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And a 2-month negotiating period now begins after U.S. President Donald Trump and Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian signed a memorandum of understanding to end the Middle East war and hostilities. The deal aims to draw a line under the war launched in late February by the U.S. and Israel, prompting Iran to counterattack across the region and effectively shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Under the terms of the deal released by U.S. officials, Iran will dilute its enriched uranium stocks, possibly by downblending on site under the supervision of the International Atomic Energy Agency. Oil prices have tumbled in recent days as optimism grew of a lasting Middle East peace agreement. An official ceremony of the signing will take place tomorrow in Switzerland, and technical talks will then commence. Trump spoke in France yesterday, where he is attending the G20 Leaders Summit.
On Sunday, we reached an agreement with Iran that achieves everything we set out to accomplish, everything and much more. Ending the current conflict, reopening the Strait of Hormuz, and preventing Iran from ever obtaining a nuclear weapon. That's what it was all about. That was about 99%. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Gold is trading at $4,257.78 an ounce. The rand is at 16.34 to the dollar, 21.76 to the pound, 18.83 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $77.39 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 South. There's an accident reported right near Van Buren Road. It's causing delays coming out of the Giluli's interchange. There's also slow-moving traffic along the N12 West between Edenville Road and the Giluli's interchange.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 17 and 19 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: emergency services are clearing a scene of a multiple car crash on William Nicol Drive in Roodepoort.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy that connects us all.
That's what makes this one so special.
In 702, Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
You're on 702. Good morning. Great having you with us. It's not Madimecha. My name is Thabo Sholemashao. I'm in his stead. I'm happy to be with you this morning. I hope everything is going according to plan on this beautiful Thursday, 18th of June. Very charged morning it was on breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, and I listened carefully, and I thought there are some other things that we may want to take over on the show to discuss on the open line. Good morning to you. I hope you're good. How's everything? We're always concerned with the business of news, current affairs, what's happening in the world, this, that, and the other. At times, I forget. I know Clement doesn't. I forget to ask, how are you? Genuinely, in your life, in your personal space, how are things going? How is your relationship at home? How is it at work with your friends? Is everything going well? Because at times you wake up and you have this big blob almost on your heart because one or two things are not going according to place. I hope that if you are going through that, it is soothed somehow throughout the day. I hope that your relations could somehow be a little bit sweeter. And I really hope that those edges could be mended out and the bumps could be softened and leveled to a point where you can have a great day. Those small things matter, especially when you grow up. I know Zuma issues, impeachment issues, that's the business of the day. We will touch on it now. But before that, I just wanted to check in on your well-being, just generally your well-being. Are things okay at work? Are you getting along with your colleagues? Did you finish your assignment at school? And that project that you are doing, how is it going? Are you fighting with your boss? Are you fighting with wifey, hubby, girlfriend, boyfriend? How's that going? I thought, let me just check in on your well-being before we kick off. I hope you don't mind that too much. I hope you don't think that makes me a softie, doesn't it? It doesn't at all. But I just wanted to check in, genuinely so, because at times we just jump to these big things. And whilst we are human beings, we must look after ourselves. Self-care matters. And so that's why I thought I should start the show on a lighter, softer, gentler note of checking up on you, if everything is okay with you. But do share with me, even on the open line, if you're okay. I wouldn't mind getting a call just to say, Thabo, I'm fine, I'm okay, I just wanted to tell you that all is going well. Or you could say, listen, there are things in my personal life that are a bit of a problem, and they're hindering me from having a pleasant day. I wouldn't mind if you call to say that on the open line. I'll allow it. I'm happy to do that. I'm more than happy to do that. You matter. I always tell you that you're the most important ingredient of the show. So you do matter, even if you don't have anything to say about the impeachment committee that is sitting this morning to finalize some legal issues, as President Cyril Ramaphosa believes that there'll be irreparable harm done to him if the committee continues with its work without having heeded to the legal processes first, the court, to hear what the court has to say first, and then they can take their cue from there. Even if you don't want to talk about that, I fully understand. I fully get it. At times you just want to breathe in and breathe out. I'm happy for you to say, I'm okay, or I'm not, or my relationship is not going well, or at work, they're bothering me. There's this thing at the back of my mind. I know I'm bothered by my school assignment that I didn't do technically because it was a group assignment and I had left the team to do the work because I've been extremely busy for the past few days. So I feel guilty. I feel horrible. I want to contact them this afternoon and tell them that please feel free to tell the prof that I didn't contribute anything. I'm happy to take the punishment and all the penalties, because I feel terrible. I contributed nothing. So that's what's on my mind. I've asked you to tell me what's on your mind. It's only fair that I share with you. And I'm thinking I'll just send the prof the email and say I didn't do anything. The guys did everything, because I feel guilty about that. I'm just in a bad space for that only. After the show, I'm going to send an email and say, guys, please remove my name from there. I know I didn't do anything. I was traveling. I was busy. I have 10,000 things to do. I don't even know why I registered. I have no idea because I am so busy. So that's for me. I want to hear what's bothering you or what's going right in your life. I know it's not a Friday as yet. Clement will do it tomorrow, but I'm also keen on knowing about your well-being. We always fight, you and I. We always disagree. We always argue. Sometimes we agree, of course. But I would love to find out about you and your well-being. It matters to me. Welcome to the show, 11 minutes after 9 o'clock. As I said, my name is Thabo Sholomashao. Let me just quickly tell you what's coming up on the show. On the open line, remember yesterday we spoke about the water situation in the country, in some pockets of the city of Johannesburg. I am keen to find out if your water has been restored. A number of individuals in townships, Soweto in particular, were saying that Joburg water has just been torturous on their existence because, one, you have the grannies, the disabled, the pregnant ladies, and some people who are vulnerable having to run after the water tankers with buckets in their hands. And I heard that an elderly gentleman hurt himself running after the water tankers trying to get some water because there's no water, and it was just a huge disaster. Has that been resolved since you and I spoke yesterday? Please keep us updated. I'm keen. Let's follow through. It was not just another topic and we were moving on. No. I want to know. Did they come through? Do we need to step some more on some toes for that to be resolved? Do you have water? Are services being provided where you are? So I want to find out from that. Bafana, 6 o'clock tonight. Are we going to win? Are we going to lose? I had a very interesting discussion with my son this morning as I was driving him to school, hurrying to work. And he was saying to me that if Bafana do well, I mean, they will literally change the face of this country. Because there is a lot that is happening in the country and people can do with a dose of good news. And it's on Bafana. And he was lamenting, asking me, Halibali was asking me, saying, Dad, but why is it that we can't get our soccer right? And I thought, let me be honest to him, like I'm often honest to you about these issues, at least from my viewpoint. I think we have protected in SAFA some individuals for the longest of time at the peril of soccer in South Africa. I think the authorities chose individuals and they didn't choose soccer. They didn't choose football. And we are paying the price. Yes, you can speak about coaching, the players, and subsequent technical issues, strategic and tactical issues on the field, off the field, coaching staff, support staff, arrangements. We can speak, but it is at the leadership of SAFA. We are afraid to speak about it. People are being protected right at the top of SAFA. So we'd rather have a collapsed state of affairs with our national soccer team just to protect few individuals so that they must keep on holding those positions. And we are now paying the price. We could be celebrating, having a good time tonight, having a love, but we're not. Because we are protecting a handful of individuals who are clinging on to power with all that they have. They are tired. They shouldn't be there. But no, we need to protect them. We'd rather compromise soccer, right? So that's that. But I really hope Bafana comes through for us today. I really hope that they win. I pray that we can celebrate, and I pray that we turn a corner and make it work. So that's one. The other matter that I thought we should look into, I did mention the impeachment committee. I don't know what you think of it. I don't know if you think that they should go ahead with their work despite the president having instituted some legal action against them. On this matter, at least, not necessarily against them, but on this issue. I don't know if you believe that for purposes of clarity, the process should unfold. And the president should yield and say, guys, I actually have nothing to hide. Let's go ahead. I don't know what you think of it. Feel free. Well, the proposal of the DA with those ministerial positions that they've given to the president through Jordan Hill-Lewis, the head of the DA, the leader of the Democratic Alliance. He's given the president some proposals. We spoke about it yesterday. One, to remove John Steenhuisen, that is, from the Department of Agriculture. And it looks like the farmers are thrilled. They're over the moon with that decision. at least the proposal for now. Now, I think the president has a conundrum with that proposal. If he accedes to that, if he concedes and agrees with Jordan Hill-Lewis on that, what it simply means is that the president has no power over certain ministries, over certain departments. It means that he has outsourced them completely to the DA to do with those departments as they wish. It means that we have a federal cabinet that has got its own autonomy, and the president just rubber stamps. Meaning that the DA has got power over the certain departments like Department of Agriculture and now the DTIC and others. It means that those belong to the DA and the president can't do anything about those. And I find it so wrong. The president should be able to say thank you, but no thanks. We appreciate it. If you want to withdraw your guy from cabinet, good. I'll see where I place any of you at a later stage. Maybe I'll put you under water and sanitation or social development or wherever. It should be the prerogative of the president. It shouldn't be up to them to say we want this position here, this particular ministry. Oh, it doesn't work like that. I mean, I think the president would have given away his power if he does that. More importantly, have you registered to vote? It's registration week. 20th and 21st. Have you registered? It's very important. I know you haven't made up your minds. At least some of you haven't made up your minds as yet as to whether you'll be voting or not on the 4th of November 2026. But register, then you can make up your mind later. Just register. Go in there. It won't take long. I know I will be registering again because I'm moving house. So I will be registering again in a new ward, and I can't wait to register. I really can't. And this is our voice. This is our opportunity to tell the authorities what we think of them. I wouldn't want you to miss this opportunity. Please go and register. Please go and register. I'm pleading on my knees. Register to vote and do vote, because that's walking the talk. That is walking the talk when you've done that. 10 to 11, Wayne Duvenage will be our guest Chief Executive Officer at Outer. He's going to join me about his life, this, that, and the other. A laid-back session with Wayne Duvenage. We'll get to hear about the books he reads, songs that he'd love to play, although I'm not famous for playing some songs, but we'll try today to keep the furniture and not move it too much. So I'm looking forward to that discussion with Wayne Duvenage. 11 o'clock, The Dialogue. We'll speak about migration, vigilantism, and the crisis of governance in South Africa. March on March. March on March cannot be avoided. I mean, did you see what happened in Sherwood in Durban yesterday? There were some undocumented migrants from Malawi who didn't want to leave, pelting stones at the cars of the authorities, and they're saying they do not want to be deported, they want to be repatriated, meaning they should not be entered into the records, and Home Affairs should not undertake its own procedures of documenting them and getting rid of them and sending them back home. Actually, they just want to leave without their records being left behind, because some may want to come back. And I mean, the violence that went with that. You know, you're not making our arguments very easy. I don't understand why you would get to the point where you are pelting stones at the authorities' vehicles, Home Affairs vehicles. Why would you do that in a country that's not yours? You should be behaving as best as possible. But having said that, there's something to be said as well about March on March, and we'll chat about it between 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock. By the way, just to say, I agree with Bongani Bingwa on his stance. I completely agree. And as well as Mavavi, that interview on Bongani's show was just on point. 011-883-0702. Abel, 20 minutes after 9. The show has officially begun.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Yebo, indeed. Welcome back. And let's go straight to your calls without any waste of time. Who has been holding the longest? I want to be fair to everyone else. It's definitely Michelle in Krugerstop, my neck of the woods. Michelle, morning. Hi.
Morning. How are you?
I'm free, Michelle. How is it going with you?
That's excellent. I would just like to say to South Africa, we normally don't stand behind other foreign boys when they're not winning, and I think we need to stop that nonsense. As a country, we need to stand behind them, whether they win or lose, and we need to realize this is a symbol of pride of South Africa. And yes, we need to look at getting rid of the Danny Jordans and all those other people that are hogging positions. But I'd just like to say to the foreigner guys, win or lose, there are enough people in South Africa that are with you. So do your best, and we will be proud of you.
What a lovely call, Michelle. You've made my day. We kicked off with a brilliant contribution from you. Well done. Thank you for that, Michelle. Highly appreciated. On a positive note, great way to start the show. Much appreciated, Michelle. 011-883-0702. Who would be next? Dumisani in Germiston. Hey, Dumisani, welcome.
Morning, how are you?
I'm free, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm good, yeah. I want to appreciate or encourage the Parliamentary Impeachment Committee to go ahead with opposing the President's intention to interdict or even to set aside the Section 89. Because if President can win, succeed in all his acts, that will deny this nation, you and me, the truth, the justice, the accountability. Remember, most of the time, the president always uses these tactics to dodge accountability. Do you remember the CR-17 still in court? Do you remember do you remember when Jacob Zuma tried to take him to court? He used the same line, that is, he will suffer the irreparable or damage. Yes, he harm. And even now, he's using the same thing. And then, do you remember the former president Nelson Mandela did go to court to face
Louis Late. Louis Late. I remember that. And he insisted on going to court and sitting on the dock and on the witness stand and also giving testimony. He insisted on that, and he said it was for the purposes of democracy.
And then even the likes of Jacob Zuma, they are in court. He started being in court while he was a deputy president and being a president, and even after a president. This irreparable harm is going to happen to President Ramaphosa only. It's a question.
Well, thank you, Tumi. Really appreciate it. Great contribution. 24 minutes after 9. You're on 702.
If you're a fan of the beautiful game, you'll recognize this and this. But what about this? It's your chance to score big time. Win your share of up to 2 million rand with Standard Bank. It's game day every day. To enter, open and use any qualifying Standard Bank account, in-app or in branch. Already a Standard Bank customer? Sign up for Standard Bank Connect online to get a bonus entry. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Work doesn't start when employees arrive at the office. It starts with family responsibilities, financial pressures, and the challenges of everyday life. And when life feels overwhelming, performance suffers. That's why Gayelo Lifestyle provides confidential, emotional, financial, legal, and well-being support for employees and their families. Because when people feel supported, they're more focused and ready to perform. Gayelo Lifestyle. Visit gayelo.co.za.
Evolution doesn't wait. Introducing the Chang'an Uni S. Unexpected, unmistakable, uncompromising. Engineered to a higher standard, unlike anything in its class. Unsurprising, really, from China's oldest automaker. Trusted by 30 million drivers worldwide. And at $4,999 per month, it's an unbeatable offer too. Chang'an Finance, T's and C's apply. Visit chang'anmotors.co.za for more. The Chang'an Uni S.
Chang'an, driven to evolve. Elevate your flying experience with Lift Premium. Enjoy even more space, comfort, and convenience with priority boarding, extra baggage allowance, and complimentary lounge access. Visit lift.co.za today.
Not every change feels like a choice. Some arrive as disruption. Shift Happens with Richard Sutton is a podcast about those moments where life moves first and you have to catch up. When certainty disappears, direction blurs, and everything familiar starts to shift. You'll hear stories from people who faced change, doubt, and pressure and found a way forward. Their stories give us confidence. Living vicariously through their experience gives us hope, and we learn from their journeys. Because what feels like an ending is often the beginning of something else. Shift Happens weekly on primemediaplus.com, the Prime Media Plus app, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Powered by First Light, therapeutics for the modern mind.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
We'll all be rooting behind Bafana Bafana, the national soccer team, this evening as they try their second time. We hope there will be goals in our favor at least. We hope that the boys will do very well. And I truly hope that we don't get to a point where now we must depend on other people to lose in order for us to go ahead. Your voice notes on 072-702-1702.
Good morning to you, Bratabo. I don't think Bafana Bafana will win today. The least thing that we can get, it's a draw without being negative. We should have won a game against Mexico, but we're not attacking, we're defending. And then I don't also see us winning against Korea. It's not going to be a draw. That one is going to be a loss. So tonight, it's going to be a tough one for the boys. Anonymous in Matlosana.
Why do you need to remain anonymous for that, bruh? But it's your right nonetheless. 011-883-0702. Let's go to the calls. We have just lost that caller. But I was just thinking about the game this evening. Have you somehow lost faith in the boys? I'm saying that because it was very difficult to get the shirts, the Bafana shirts at first. Many, they had run out of shirts in various stores. You'd go here, they wouldn't be there, everywhere else. But for now, I think the sales are a bit slower. And I'm wondering to what extent can that be attributed to their loss to Mexico and generally South African losing faith and thinking that they won't go as far as they ought to have. And for some reason, we are not as enthusiastic as we were before. But Michelle from Krugersdorp, I think she raises a very significant point. She says that win or lose, we must stand behind them. We can't only support them when they win. We must stand behind them. There is still hope. There is still some hope and confidence that can be restored in Bafana. And hopefully this evening, they will do very well. Well, I don't know what you think about that. Give us a shout on 011-883-0702, 072-702-1702. Just quick reminder that between 10 and 11, Wayne Duvenage is going to be with us just to look at, it will be hanging around with him. But I wanted to bring your attention to also our later discussion about vigilantism, which is very, very important on the backdrop of what we've been seeing, the migration issues and the crisis of governance in South Africa. And a whole lot of people are heated around this matter. So we'll be chatting to Professor Lauren Landau much later on the show about that. Please make sure that you are tuned in for that. Exactly 9:30. Sfiso Zulu standing by for Eyewitness News headlines. Good morning, Sfiso.
Thanks, Thabo. Good morning. Hundreds of foreign nationals have gathered in Durban, where another centre to help them with deportation has been set up. Thousands of Malawian nationals looking to return to their home country have been camping outside the Sherwood Hall for more than a week now. Tensions escalated there yesterday when the crowd pelted stones and clashed with police. Mayor Cyril Xaba says a second centre will help speed up the deportation process. Acting Social Development Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga says the basic income grant won't be a substitution for job creation. Chikunga says the basic income support policy that will be going to Cabinet for further deliberations is to create income-generating and sustainable livelihoods for most of the vulnerable. Yesterday, Chikunga and the department gave the NCOP Select Committee on Social Services an update about the basic income grant after years of planning. And Israel has conducted more airstrikes in Lebanon despite a peace agreement between the United States and Iran that includes an end to attacks in Lebanon. While violence has declined in Lebanon since a U.S.-Iran agreement to end the Middle East war was announced on Monday, Israeli strikes on the south have still killed at least 5 people since the deal. The Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah drew Lebanon into the Middle East war in early March by firing rockets at Israel to avenge the killing of Iran's supreme leader in U.S.-Israeli strikes. And those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 10 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Travelling on the Pretoria Main Road in Waterfall, there's queuing traffic along this route towards the Baklu Bridge. This is due to roadworks that are taking place along the route right after Islandale Road. So please be on the lookout there and approach with care. Then if you're travelling in Edenville, we've got delays on the N12 West and the R24 West. This is between Edenville Road and the Gilulis interchange. Otherwise, on the M2 West, queuing traffic as well between the Crown interchange and Main Reef Road. If you're still travelling in the Port area, we still have got that road closure along William Nicol Drive. This is just as you approach Constantia Road. This is due to an earlier accident, so unfortunately you won't have access to the N1 using this route. Please find alternative routes like Albertina Sisulu Road. More updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
Is this date of June the 30th that has been given? I'm concerned about even these pop-up protests in the build-up to that date that seem something of a dress rehearsal. We're also heading towards the 5th anniversary of the July 2021 protests. How worried are you?
Very worried. We know how Ongoye massacre developed and led to 16,000 people killed in KwaZulu-Natal in the so-called black-on-black violence. We were here in Gauteng in 1990-1991 when that violence was in a very orchestrated way moved into Gauteng. I happen to have been the first person to pick up a body that we saw being hacked to death by people who are wearing exactly the same attire as those that are leading the marches. But more importantly and worryingly, there is a political hand of the very same forces that generated the July 2021 unrest today.
And some of that hand is becoming more and more visible with each day. All right, so Lindsay Mavavu.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
At the foot of Table Mountain, life moves a little differently. Just minutes from Cape Town's city centre, the Vineyard Hotel feels a world away, surrounded by gardens, trees, and a slower rhythm of life. Whether you are escaping for a few days or extending a business trip, it's a place to step out of the rush and slow down. So this winter, take a breather at the Vineyard. Stay for 2 nights and enjoy their winter offer. Find out more at vineyard.co.za.
Sure, they aced it. The Championships Wimbledon experience with the Mzansi Advantage is back at Amex Tennistown Monte Casino between 11 and 12 July 2026. Enjoy VIP hospitality, the ultimate big screen experience, a kids fun zone, and so much more. Buy your tickets now on Howler and get 50% off on limited tickets when you use your Amex card. Tennis is better with Amex. American Express Cards is operated under license in South Africa by Nedbank, a licensed financial services and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We're also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news. But if If we stumble along the way and you feel we're not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission, PO Box 412365, Craig Hall 2024. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
Aquale is excited to be the official hydration partner of the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk for the third year running. Third year, can you believe it? Keeping every participant refreshed, energized, and ready to go a distance. And whether you prefer a couple of flavors here, you could prefer still, sparkling, flavored, or sports drinks. Aquale offers a wide variety of options for refreshment. And this makes it easy for everyone to find something they enjoy on race day and beyond. So adding to the excitement, Aquale is adding the new Mzansi mango flavor as a permanent addition to the range. South Africans voted for the flavor they would like to have next, and it was a clear winner. Mango. From being a limited edition, this flavor is now here to stay, bringing a vibrant, refreshingly local taste to the range of Mzansi to love. Aquale, the official hydration partner of 702, Josie My Josie, Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Joburg. Enter now on primemediaplus.com and let's move with Aquale.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
23 minutes to 10 o'clock, an open line. Welcome back. My name is Thabo Sholemashao. I'm in for Clement. We're together till 12 o'clock this afternoon. So this is an open line. We had a chat about Bafana a little bit earlier on. And I am hoping that we will all go out to support Bafana. And the meeting on the impeachment of the president, and the impeachment committee is sitting for that meeting this morning, and the chair of the committee, Makashule Gana, was saying that they will then get some legal advice on the matter as to how to move forth. But some leaders in that committee are not convinced. They are not wishy-washy. They're very clear. They are saying that the work must go ahead, despite the fact that there is a legal process underway instituted by the president on this particular issue. So they're saying that, no, let's go ahead, and that should not hinder our work. And I don't know what you make of it. But very close to my heart is the issue of registering to vote. It's very easy for all of us at any given go to complain about this matter, the street lights not working, potholes, joblessness, municipality clinics, and this, that, and that. But we need to register. We do need to register to vote. We need IEC to record the highest number of people who came to register to vote this weekend, on Saturday and Sunday. It's very important. Let's also be vocal using this democratic instrument called voting. And we can only do so by registering first, saying that I am whoever, I live in this area, and I intend to vote. These are my details. You need to go to your nearest voting station and with your ID, tell them that you need to register, and please check. And if you've registered, check if you're there. There's no harm in checking if you're still there. It's more important than the impeachment as far as I understand. It is extremely important because you get to say what you want to say in your own voice, using your own tone. Through voting, we can't underplay the power of a vote. We cannot afford to. So please, do walk the talk. Go and register Saturday, Sunday. If not, check yourself. Go to the IEC website and check if you are still there. Your name is there. And you're registered in the appropriate ward where you stay. That would help a lot. I can't overly emphasize that. It's very, very important. I asked about a couple of things. Bafana, Chechia playing Chechia today. And I would like to hear from you. Not just your score predictions, but do you think we left it up too late? Do you think that we should have really done our best with Mexico? Now it's too late. Some people are feeling that too late, too late, too late. Others are saying we still have a chance. But I genuinely want Bafana to win on this one. I truly want Bafana to win on this one. And as a result, I would like us to really take this seriously and stand behind them and do all that we need to do. Let's all go out there and support Bafana. And speaking of which, Lucas Radebe walks by as I'm saying we should support Bafana. I would love to hear from you on 011-883-0702, 011-883-0702. There was also a very interesting thing. Yesterday we spoke about the polygamist, Abel. We touched on how it has really captured the imagination of South Africans. There was a piece, a friend of mine sent me a very moving piece from the Daily Maverick, and I will tell you who wrote it. Begisisa Mncube wrote this piece in the Daily Maverick, and I wanted to just grab just the few sentences, the first few paragraphs from it. And so it reads as thus. Netflix polygamist confuses culture with sexual deviance. The series fails to interrogate polygamy and instead mistakes sexual pathology for culture. There's a difference between interrogating culture and butchering it. The polygamist does the latter. And he goes on to quote another quote, as he says, bad writing is like any other form of crime. Most of it is unimaginative and tiresomely predictable. The Richard Michelle line appeared on my Facebook memories while I was watching Netflix Polygamist over 3 days. By the end of the series, it felt like a literary joke and more like it stopped feeling like a literary joke and more like a diagnosis. The main issues with Polygamist is not melodrama. It is that the series conflates polygamy, isitembu, with sexual deviance. It mistakes culture for pathology and passes off shock as storytelling. It mistakes a family institution for a libido. Most South Africans do not know the gentleman I'm about to speak about, but he then quotes someone that he knows, and then he says that this man was in a polygamous relationship. He said his first wife was his wife in the ordinary sense. The second wife entered the household because Busha's brother had died in prison, leaving children behind. The family decided Busha would be able to take over that wife. But the point that he makes, which I wanted to conclude with, he mentions that all these wives in this polygamous arrangement, all these wives, they were not casualties of male abuse. They were not victims, and they knew what they were getting into, and they did so willingly. And the production, the Netflix production, The Polygamist, if anything else, misrepresents the title it holds. I don't know what you think. Let me know. 011-883-0702. I happen to agree with Begisisa Mncube 100%, by the way. I think there must have been a conflation of culture and bad habits. And sadly, everyone else is painted in that way. And at the peril of this, at the demise of this, is the cultural custom of polygamy, which now is going to be confused with infidelity. 011-883-0702. Maxwell, you're in Pretoria. Hey, welcome.
I'm good, Thabo. How are you?
Sharp, Maxwell.
People are complaining about that polygamy. Just dating 4 people is a hula baloo, but we'll talk about it other day.
Sure.
So, Bafana, I think they've heard our call. I think even themselves, they were disappointing the way they've shown against Mexico. I believe today they might get 3 points or a draw that can make the dreams possible for them, because if that happens, it means that it will be between Czech Republic and them, because in that group, Mexico and South Korea, I see those 2 as an obvious one to qualify. So if we can beat this one, we do have a chance. I see them attacking and possibly even scoring or winning that goal. As long as we can go there having no defensive mind, then we attack, we might get a result. And the last thing is the issue of Zwana. I don't know why they're saying big blow for Bafana because of Zwana. Zwana has not been playing for that much with Bafana. I think it's a blessing in disguise for him and honestly for him and Yaya to have been given a red card. In their space, there will be people that will do a great job, Tabo.
Yeah. No, thanks, Maxwell. Thanks very much for that, Maxwell. And we hope that they do well. 011-883-0702. Abel, I've been neglecting the voice notes. Let's go straight to them.
Hey, Tabo, a few things from me. I'm behind Bafana. I really hope that they win. They remain our national team regardless. The second issue, the repatriating foreign nationals. Sounds like it's only African illegal foreigners that are leaving.
Yeah.
What about people from other countries or continents, right? From the US, from China, from Europe. you know? But I guess it is what it is. The impeachment committee, they must just continue doing their job. We are fully behind them.
Good morning, Tabo, and to the 702 lenders. Look, I agree with you 100%. Our national team struggles have absolutely nothing to do with a lack of talent. It's all about accountability. We have individuals like Danny Jordan and his cronies who seem totally untouchable, and authorities are hiding behind the fear of FIFA sanctions to avoid acting. It's corrupt leadership holding us back. Plain and simple, finish and clear. It's Legion in Montana.
Good morning, 702 team. Yeah, we have a problem with our coach. Because this coach, he knows that we have players who are capable to score the goals, play the good football, but he doesn't want to play them. I think if we can put Mufukeng, Meremi, and Apollos at those boys, they know each other from Orlando Pirates. I think if we can play them at the same time, I'm telling you, Bafana gonna win the game.
Yeah.
I'm telling you today, Bafana gonna win. If we can put those players, Bafana gonna win the game tonight.
Failed Pirates players. 12 minutes to 10.
Let's hear from Chantal and Mel, owners of Jelly Body and Nail Studio, why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance.
We were with our previous insurer for about 4 years, and when we decided to switch, it was actually a flawless process. It definitely pays to switch.
For beauty salons, convenience stores, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
The Josie My Josie Walk the Talk is calling on you to walk with the people, for the people on Sunday, 26 July. Babize bonke, but why don't you get a taste of what Walk the Talk will be like? This Sunday, Josie My Josie is having another Main Street Sundays, taking over Marshall Town and flipping the script on how Josie moves. One whole street in the heart of the city, closed to cars, just people, vibes, and that Main Street magic. 702's Soulful Sunday with Kenny and Pushaza will also be there. Broadcasting live from Main Street Sundays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Go to josiemyjosie.com for all the details and grab your free tickets, and let's show the city what happens when the streets belong to the people. And what's more, you can also register for Walk the Talk at Main Street Sundays or enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Joburg.
Keep moving through 6 a.m. call times, the rain, dirt tracks, and moving through tight deadlines. Because you move with purpose, from the first stop to the final drop. The Hino 700 truck tractor comes standard with a 6-year drivetrain warranty and advanced safety features tailored to your industry. The Hino 700 is built to fuel your business's progress. Hino, all the way.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
10 minutes to 10 o'clock. Welcome back. 7:02. Great to be with you. And it's an open line all the way to 10 o'clock. And whatever gives, feel free to share it with us. I'm more concerned about the water situation that was raised yesterday. I would love to hear from you. Was it resolved? We spoke about it at nauseam yesterday. And you raised issues that there were elderly individuals running around with buckets, chasing after the water tankers, and the scheduling was not clear as to where the water tankers will be. It was mayhem in the townships yesterday, the day before. I just don't think that is fair. I truly don't think that is fair. And I would love to hear from you if that situation has been resolved. Of course, I mean, pipes will burst. It's natural, and I'm not suggesting that that's not going to happen at all. It will happen. All that we are saying is that at least inform people appropriately. Let them know. And once they know, treat them with dignity. Give them sufficient resources. Don't let them queue up, in long, unbearable queues for the longest of times. Make the process as seamless as possible. Run it so that it has some semblance of dignity. These are individuals. These are people. These are residents. These are citizens of South Africa. I mean, these are human beings. Treat them equally. Please treat them the way they ought to be treated. I would like that from us, especially as authority. I would prefer authorities to do that. It really pains my heart when ordinary people, simply because they stay in certain areas, they're not treated well. But in some areas, whenever there's a march of 10 individuals complaining about water not being there for 48 hours, everyone jumps. It's the premier, it's the mayor. We are falling over ourselves. The media also, cameras running after these 12 people at the corner of whatever beautiful streets in the green, lushy suburbia. But when it's ordinary people from the townships, no one cares. It's like, they should know how this goes. Leave them alone. No media, no mayor addressing them, assuring them, no authorities going out to address the people. But hey, should it happen here in Sandton, leafy suburbs, in Craighall, in Sandhurst, in Sandown, in Parkhurst, oh my goodness me. The mayor will fall over himself trying to explain to these people, no, we had a best pipe, but Dobsonville, Meadowlands, Tembisa, Naledi, Orange Farm, Kladim, Letsani, they're not important. They must be used to this thing, right? The mayor has got a lot to do. The mayor's got a lot to do with his time. He can't address those people. Guys, no. You know, there was a show called People of the South long ago, hosted by Dali Tambo, and Helen Suzman was in the audience as Nelson Mandela was being interviewed. And question time came, and Helen Suzman raised her hand, and Dali Tambo afforded her an opportunity to ask the question. She asked a question that still rings on my mind right now as I am bewildered by everything else that is happening. She then said, Mr. Mandela, are you able to concede that, relatively speaking, the struggle was easier than governance? Very loaded question. It may seem insensitive, it may seem simplistic, but it's got various layers about the transition from liberation, activism, to governance. Is that what we are suffering from? That the liberator ought not to be automatically a governor? I have no idea. I'm just asking questions. You let me know on 011-883-0702. Voice notes, Abel?
Good morning, Tabo. This is Abel, and I'm calling from I'm in Dobsonville. Man, the situation is very bad, man. We still don't have water. There's no water all over the area, man. What I saw yesterday, it was so sad, man. I've seen, older people, the grannies and the mkulus, working with 20-liter buckets, looking for water all over the township. There is no water, and inside the houses is a mess. Some people are using buckets to relieve themselves, and emptying the buckets where into the dustbins. It's a mess. It's a mess. Johannesburg watermen, they disrespected our dignity as human beings. They really, it's so bad. It's bad. Thank you, Tabo. Bye.
Good morning, Tabo. Jack here from Omanskral. I agree with you regarding the enthusiasm and the fire to register, then vote. But I also want to add to say, after checking if you are registered, on the day of voting, go and vote where you registered. Then the process is now complete.
Yeah.
Unlike people like the Parliamentary Committee on Impeachment being excited about things that are not immediate. We are not saying they're not important, but if they had the same fire around voting, around youth unemployment, and about the land question in this country, then would say we're going somewhere. But every time something is established, there's excitement around it, but these are not the immediate pressing issues. Jack from Amaskra.
Jack, thanks for that. 011-883-0702. Quickly, let's take Theo in Pretoria. Theo, hi. Morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm trying, Theo. How's it going with you?
No, I'm fine. I was very intrigued by your comment regarding from the liberation movement to the government's movement.
Yeah.
And I spoke to a friend of mine that had a lunch with a person quite older than us, and he used the analogy of the Israelites when they left Egypt. And the way they had to travel to the new land was a couple of kilometers. They could reach it in 7 days. But the Lord told them, you're going to travel for 40 years. And the whole generation succumbed in the desert in those 40 years. And what was important was that they were enslaved in Egypt. And then from that generation, they had to take over a new country. They had to invade. They had to take over Canaan.
Yeah.
And they had to govern. And there was an analogy that maybe it takes a complete new generation to move from liberation to be freed in order to be able to govern.
Theo, we have to leave it at that. But the plane has landed. You landed it beautifully. 2 minutes to 10.
Joburg, it's time to show up for our city. On Sunday, 26 July, join thousands of Joburgers for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk in proud partnership with Standard Bank. Walk through the heart of Johannesburg, celebrate its rich history, and experience the positive growth taking place in the CBD. As a committed partner, passionate about the growth of our city, Standard Bank invites you to be part of a movement that's helping build a safer, stronger, and spirited Josie for generations to come. Register now and take the walk that brings Johannesburg together. The 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, proudly partnered by Standard Bank.
Hi there, I am Amahle, a stem cell donor. What started out as curiosity turned into an opportunity for me to save a life. Naturally, I was taken aback when I was found to be a match for a patient in need. In South Africa, over 4,000 people die of blood cancer each year. I donated stem cells and I was able to give someone else a second chance at life. Register to become a stem cell donor at kmsafrica.org so you too can be a lifesaver.
Excuse me. I'm hungry. Hungry for equal education. Hungry for employment. Hungry for dignified healthcare. Hungry for all the things our parents fought for. On June 16, 1976, Tsietsi Mashinini had the same hunger. Read The Gripping Story, A Burning Hunger by Linda Schuster. Available at all good bookstores. Feed your mind.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Thousands of Malawian migrants are being moved to another location in Durban to ease overcrowding at a temporary centre that's been housing them so far. For more than a week now, the foreign nationals had been camping at the Sherwood Community Centre, seeking help to be repatriated to their home country. The eThekwini Metro Municipality says today's move will make it easier to start the deportation process. Most of the foreign nationals gathered there say they want to leave South Africa ahead of planned protests against undocumented foreign nationals on 30 June. We cross now live to Nhlanhla Mabaso in Durban. Nhlanhla, tell us more about this morning's move.
The eThekwini Metro has provided buses to assist with today's move. This essentially means another shelter has been set up so that the crowd are not congested while processing of deportation happens. There are queues here with thousands of people preparing to leave the site. President Manager for Home Affairs Cyril Mncwabe says they are in discussion with their Malawian counterparts. Authorities are expected to visit the new site to assess the process, while at the same time a number of buses are set to leave for Malawi later on. In Mabaso Eyewitness News, I'm reporting live from the Sherwood Community Hall in Durban.
Disbarred lawyer and alleged shoplifter Piet Viljoen is expected to appear in the Pretoria Specialised Commercial Crimes Court today. Viljoen was arrested by the Hawks at OR Tambo International Airport on Tuesday, shortly after arriving from the US. He's accused of committing fraud and corruption linked to the alleged unlawful sale of properties belonging to the Johannesburg Property Company. Viljoen and his wife Mel previously made international headlines after their arrest in Florida in the US, where they were accused of running a supermarket shoplifting scheme for 6 months. Nkoskona Malingamnisi reports.
Piet Viljoen remained in US custody longer than his wife, who returned to South Africa earlier. Upon his arrival on Tuesday, he was immediately arrested by the Hawks. According to investigators, several properties owned by the Johannesburg Property Company were fraudulently sold to unsuspecting buyers in May 2010. Although ownership of the properties was transferred, the entity allegedly received no payment, resulting in significant financial loss. The matter was initially reported at the Sandton and Boschkorp police stations before being handed to the Hawks' Serious Commercial Crime Investigation Unit. Or see Konamalingamnisi Eyewitness News.
Acting Social Development Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga says the basic income grants won't be a substitution for job creation. Chikunga says the basic income support policy that will be going to Cabinet for further deliberations is to create income generating and sustainable livelihoods for most vulnerable. Yesterday, Chikunga and the department gave the NCOP Select Committee on Social Services an update about the basic income grants after years of planning. Babalondenze takes a look.
Acting Minister Cindy Chikunga told Parliament that further public consultations will start on the basic income grant once Cabinet has refined the draft policy. The proposed grant is expected to overhaul the country's social welfare system and will also replace the SRD grant, which targets unemployed adults who are able to work. But Chikunga has warned that the basic income grant won't be a job creation initiative.
Basic income support is not a substitute for job creation, and we must emphasize that. It is a complementary intervention that links recipients to income generating and sustainable livelihood opportunities through deliberate labor market facilitation.
Chikunga says the policy is a transformative social protection measure to reduce poverty and inequality while promoting economic participation. She says the department will be meeting with the National Treasury soon to discuss the viability of the proposed policy. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News.
And Israel has conducted more airstrikes in Lebanon despite a peace agreement between the United States and Iran that includes an end to attacks in Lebanon. While violence has declined in Lebanon since a U.S.-Iran agreement to end the Middle East war was announced on Monday, Israeli strikes on the south have still killed at least 5 people since the deal. The Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah drew Lebanon into the Middle East war in early March by firing rockets at Israel to avenge the killing of of Iran's supreme leader in U.S.-Israeli strikes. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said this week that an end to the conflict would be incomplete without the withdrawal of Israeli forces from the territories it occupied in this war. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Monday that his country's forces would remain in Lebanon for as long as necessary. United Nations spokesperson Stefan Dujarric gave an update on observations made by their teams in Lebanon.
Today, 26 violations of Lebanese airspace by the IDF were recorded between midnight and 4 p.m. local time, along with one air attack. In addition, peacekeepers reported a violation of Lebanon's maritime space by two IDF vessels conducting patrol roughly 600 meters off the shores of Nakora in southern Lebanon, which is also the home base for our peacekeepers.
Gold is trading at $4,257.78 an ounce. The rand is at 16.34 to the dollar, 21.76 to the pound, 18.83 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $77.39 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N12 East. This is between Klipspruit Valley Road and the Golden Highway. That's due to an accident seen along this route. Please be on the lookout there. While traveling on the N3 North, queuing traffic between the Geldenhuys Interchange and Van Buren Road. That's due to roadworks.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 17 and 19 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Thousands of Malawian migrants are being moved to another location in Durban to ease overcrowding at a temporary shelter that's been housing them so far.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
On Sunday, 26 July, 7:02 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk unites us all in the iconic Joburg CBD.
7:02
Walk the Talk. Abize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
7:02
Live
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Eight minutes after 10 o'clock. Thanks very much for joining us here on 7:02. My name is Thabo Shola. I'm in for Clement, who's not here. We're together till 12. Lovely having you with us. If you've just joined us, welcome. Where have you been? In the past hour, we had an open line, heated open line at that. We touched on the importance of registering to vote over this weekend. 20th, 21st, civil duty. Show up, show up, show up. I can't overly emphasize it. We really need to walk the talk. You start with registering, then you vote on the 4th. For now, let's cross the bridge of registering first, so that on the 4th, when you go there, your name should appear on the voters roll. Extremely important. And if it were for me, I'd say, register where you stay so that it makes a difference. I know there are individuals who have registered elsewhere and they stay somewhere else. Register where you stay so that it makes a difference to your immediate environment. That's what we spoke about earlier on. We also touched on the impeachment committee meeting that set this morning in Parliament, and the president saying he'll suffer irreparable harm if the work continues without heeding somewhat to the legal process underway. And that was the open line, and many other issues, especially those who are in need of water right now, running around carrying buckets behind water tankers in townships, various townships. That came out very clearly. I must mention one more time that we did try to get hold of Joburg Water. We did try to get hold of Joburg Water. We were unsuccessful in trying to do so. So I think the record should show. And we won't stop. We will keep on trying. And so let's keep some fire on that story. It's very, very important that we accord equality of dignity to every citizen and not discriminate based on localities. 011-883-0702, that's the number that you used to dial, and you contributed immensely. But for now, this hour is called Hanging Out. And who is my guest? Wayne Duvenage.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
He of Outer, and I'm joined by a businessman who exchanged the corporate boardroom for civil activism, and after a long career in travel and tourism, including 5 years as chief executive of Avis, he became one of the leading figures in the fight against Gauteng's e-tolls and just generally now against all forms of corruption. That campaign grew into Organization Undoing Tax Abuse, which challenges corruption, maladministration, and misuse of public funds. And he has spent more than a decade asking difficult questions of government and mobilizing citizens around accountability. And he's right here in front of me, looking all spliff with a tie and a jacket. I thought it was for me, but he says, no, I have other meetings. Wayne, welcome.
And it's for you. Welcome.
Lovely having you.
Thanks a lot for having me.
You're good, Wayne. What's occupying your mind currently? Any recent projects that you're working on?
Yeah, we're working on making sure Eskom doesn't turn off the lights in Joburg right now. If we have to litigate, we will.
Yeah.
We have to fight the solar panel taxation that's starting to creep in municipalities. It's absolutely crazy. Irrational decisions being made and so many other things. One of the big fights that is unfolding right now, and I must give a shout out to a very morally courageous woman, Rafilwe Matenche, who's the chairperson of the INSETA board, who's standing her ground against political overreach by Buti Manamela, the minister, because they've taken the right decision and suspended Gugu Mkhize at the CEO at INSETA. And she's being very brave. She was instructed by the minister to reverse the decision and lift the suspension on Mkhize, and Rafilwe has refused to do so, her and her board.
Yeah.
And they're standing their ground, and they've got good legal opinion on this. And this is good. This is the type of leadership we need in these oversight boards. So those are three of the things that are unfolding right now. There's lots of others.
I can imagine. But the second one, if you could say one or two things, I know we're digressing a bit, but I think it's important, the solar panels and the tariffs.
Look, when a country needs to find its own solutions because government is messed up and we were in load shedding and called to do so and even given tax rebates to do so, and then they go and fit solar installations. Now government's coming, and especially at local government, and they're doing it all very differently. Different municipalities are starting to introduce solar panel taxes. Can you imagine a house with 2 panels getting the same monthly tax as a house with 16 panels?
Yeah.
Firstly. Secondly, this is an irrational tax. It has to be fought.
Yeah.
We are unpacking what are the options and avenues open to us. But, if you go and fit a gas stove to mitigate your high electricity costs, you don't get charged a gas stove or a solar geyser tax. But now, and solar geyser, by the way, has a panel. So now does that fall into this category? They haven't thought about it. We've seen Mfuleni is now trying to bring it in. There are other towns. We have to stop this in its tracks right now. It's abuse. This government and these local municipalities have become extractive in their mindset.
Yeah.
They don't know how to fix their ruined finance models, and they have to do something about it.
Were you like this in school? When did you discover this streak of having to speak truth to power and really fighting, and this activism bone in you that doesn't seem to fade away? When did you discover that?
Started in my youth. My parents were divorced early. My father's a hardworking man. I was left alone, my sister and I, we were free spirits. I would go out on a Friday and only come back home on a Sunday, be camping, spending time with mates, and learning so much.
Yeah.
And then starting to question the system, the apartheid system as a youngster, told not to have friends of different color. And I couldn't understand this and started questioning and pushing back. My pushback against the establishment started, I think, back then. long debates with my family members on this. Learned a lot more as I went to university. That was the big transition into, this is fundamentally flawed. We have to change our ways. And then, sadly, 30 years into democracy, and more people are slipping into poverty than out of it, and it's just absolutely infuriating.
And all this was in Newcastle, KwaZulu-Natal.
Yeah, I schooled there. My youth was there. It was a growing industrial town at the time. We moved from Durban up there when I was about 10, I think. So I've pretty much grown up in Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean, why the degree, the Bachelor of Science degree at the University of Natal? Were you geared that way? Did the parents force you to go along those lines?
I wanted to do architecture. My dad said, "Don't go there," and I think that's the one decision he made right for me was to say. And I wanted to get into engineering. Didn't have the maths marks. Started out in geology. So I spread my degree over 4 years. Changed. I went into industrial psychology. I knew I wanted to just qualify. I got a BSc degree. I had ideas of going into town planning. Didn't work out. Went into the corporate world and started out as a youngster dispatch manager at Avis in Durban. For me, it was a stepping stone initially. But it actually became a pathway to personal growth. It was an incredible company run by good people who helped train youngsters to run their branches like they run businesses, and that's where I learned a lot.
Let's trace back a little bit before we get into your working life, Wayne, because I think a lot of who we are as adults somehow emanates from our experiences as kids, as we're growing up in our youthful days and so on. Your youthful days, you're saying that you didn't understand why the apartheid government was segregating people, choosing friends and lovers for them and everything else in between. I'm sure there were youthful stuff. What were you doing? Playing soccer, rugby, cricket, some fun moments from those days. What were you up to?
I was. My dad was managing a factory, and I would go and pick up the scrap metal and start welding, making go-karts, for instance, on a weekend. I met a coloured welder there, and we got close to. We were friends, and I was then told, I wanted to go and see him at his house and understand his culture as a Muslim. And I was told I can't, and that frustrated me. So why not? And you start to question the system when you realize how our parents had just been allowed themselves possibly to be hoodwinked into accepting the status quo. And as a kid, I wouldn't. So I would cycle there on a weekend, not tell anybody. And then, white guy riding into a bicycle into a coloured area in the 70s, I started getting into trouble. But this is the type of frustration that I was facing. And
KZN at the time, I'm sure there was a lot taking place, and moving to university, that's also a culture shock of its own. You are free to do a couple of other things, and you meet people from different backgrounds.
And universities were forced and starting to take their own initiative to allow other cultures to come in. They were all white universities at the time. And that was a boiling pot, a melting pot. And suddenly you start to get a broader perspective of what was wrong with the system. And so universities are always these breeding grounds for challenging. And I really enjoyed that, learned a lot there. And I think from there, and my mom was a very influential at a very young age. I remember her telling me, I must have been about 15, when she said, do you understand your privileges are because of one thing only? I said, what is that? She says, the color of your skin. And it took a time to settle in, to sink in, and that starts to open the doors to broader thinking of what was so bad and so fundamentally wrong.
And whilst speaking about those privileges, do you think that to a large extent that is still the situation, even though things have changed for the better, but privilege to a large extent still has color?
Absolutely. I know many will say not so. My daughter was born after apartheid, but let's face it, the benefits of what we have as parents for our kids today are flowing still because of the benefits we picked up. the ability to own property, the ability to invest, the ability to have the jobs, the promotions, all of those things pass on. So it takes generations for that beneficiation to start to subside. So anybody who says, I was, I'm white today and I'm not privileged because of apartheid, I disagree with that.
I want us, before the break, quickly to touch on your transition from Avis to Outer, because I remember that vividly. I was also a younger journalist covering stories at the time when you made that huge transition, and that must have been a huge sacrifice. I mean, given that the executives, and being an executive and being a civil rights activist, are two contrasting views, and for you to leave the corner office just to wear jeans and t-shirt and be on the streets, that transition must have cost you quite a lot. I want us to speak about it after the break. It's 21 minutes after 10 o'clock. You're on 702. By the way, feel free to participate. You may have a question for Wayne. You are at liberty to put it together, either through voice note. You could send a voice note on 072 702 1702. That's 072 702 1702. Or, which is what I prefer, you could just call us directly, and that will be much better, on 011-883-0702.
Keep moving through 6 a.m. call times, the rain, dirt tracks, and moving through tight deadlines. Because you move with purpose, from the first stop to the final drop. The Hino 700 truck tractor comes standard with a 6-year drivetrain warranty and advanced safety features tailored to your industry. The Hino 700 is built to fuel your business's progress. Hino, all the way.
The 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk is calling on you to walk with the people, for the people, on Sunday, 26 July. Babize bonke, but why don't you get a taste of what Walk the Talk will be like? This Sunday, Josie My Josie is having another Main Street Sundays, taking over Marshalltown and flipping the script on how Josie moves. One whole street in the heart of the city, closed to cars. Just people, vibes, and that Main Street magic. 702's Soulful Sunday with Kenny and Pushaza will also be there, broadcasting live from Main Street Sundays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Go to Josie My Josie for all the details and grab your free tickets. And let's show the city what happens when the streets belong to the people. And what's more, you can also register for Walk the Talk at Main Street Sundays, or enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Joburg.
Winter Survival Kit 101. 7 blankets, check. 4 jerseys, check. 3 pairs of socks, check. 2 pairs of shorts, check. Or hear us out, you could just visit Chamberlain. Join us for our winter savings promotion from 18 June to 12 July and get everything you need to make winter a little warmer. From heaters, firewood and anthracite to geyser blankets, paint and insulation. Plus friendly advice, helpful service and jog dog food for only 398 Rand. Less shivering, more living. Much better plan for the whole family. Chamberlain, famous for hardware since 1903.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
Do cinemas draw a crowd to a mall in any way nowadays? Are you having to repurpose sort of cinema space in other malls as well?
So cinemas do seem to be struggling in South Africa. Interestingly, in Spain, they do very well. Portugal, they don't. You would think neighbouring countries have very similar tendencies, but they don't. In Spain, it's still very much a good family night out, to go to the movies, go for dinner. In fact, our cinemas there trade very well.
Lawrence Rapp is the CEO of Vukile Property Group.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by Absa Rewards. Get double cash back depending on your rewards tier when an African team scores and wins at the FIFA World Cup 2026, courtesy of Visa. Use your Absa Visa card at rewards partners on match days to score. Join Absa Rewards on the banking app. Your story matters. Absa is an authorized FSP and a registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Wayne Duvenage is my guest, Chief Executive Officer of OUTA, and he's right in front of me. We are hanging out with him today all the way till 11 o'clock. If you want to engage him, if you want to ask him a question, feel free to do so. This is one figure that South Africa cannot afford to overlook, and history will definitely remember positively, especially when those e-tolls debacle started. You remember those dark days? All of us were confused, thinking, how are we going to afford to pay for all these expenses? And he was the CEO at the time of Avis. I don't think that his real concern was paying for those e-tolls, as the affordability of those e-tolls, but the principle behind it. But he's right in front of me too. That transition, how did it happen, Wayne?
It was quite quick and unplanned. No, I don't think anybody has civil activism as a career choice out there. I certainly didn't. But you know, Thabo, when you are in a position of power, and I was chairing the SAVRALA, the Vehicle Renting and Leasing Association at the time, and government introduced this grossly irrational scheme, and had all the hallmarks of failure, corruption, and everything. And I don't want to go too deep into that. It's a story for another day. But we did a lot of research as the Rental Agent Association.
Yes.
And we could see 5 or 6 flags of failure, 30% admin costs when the world average is 10, money going offshore. This was a very deceitful and irrational scheme. It had to be challenged. There was a lot of fighting, shouting, COSATU, DA, but nobody was doing anything. So I convinced the industry that we need to tackle this in law, use the rule of law. Very difficult to get business to fight government, let me tell you, but we managed to get that. We won the interdict. That blew wind in our sails, and then it became a massive thing, and I couldn't do both. I chaired the formation of OUTA, at those days known as the Opposition to Urban Tolling Alliance, and it needed full-time attention. I had to make a choice. I'd been in my role for 5 years, had a really exciting 5-year period as the chief executive, doing some really good stuff around sustainability, service excellence. It's an amazing company. And then sat down with my boss and said, look, I've got to go and do this. I'm sure sanity will prevail. This will be over in a year or two, and then I can come back into the corporate world somewhere. Little did I know, this became a full-time job. It took them 10 years to switch off those gantries, but it became a fight that moved from business to the people. It was the people's fight. And we put together an amazing team, and I must just give kudos to this team at OUTA. There's 34 of us, incredible, passionate specialists, professionals, who do civil intervention really effectively, using the rule of law, using different methodologies. And I thought somewhere along the line, this has got to change. And so it moved away from just one issue on e-tolls. And we became the organization undoing tax abuse in 2016. We broadened our mandate because Nkandla was headline news, Dudumyeni, SAA, state capture was on steroids, and we re-strategized. Took some time to build the right structure. I must say it was like building a car while you're driving down the freeway at times. It was harder to run a 35-man team than a 2,000-man team at Avis, let me tell you.
Really?
It was really, really exciting. I've learned a lot. And I just know that when people are empowered with knowledge, they can do amazing things and take on an irrational and corrupt government. And
I want us to speak about, building that car as you're driving at the same time. But first, let's take a call from Chief. Chief is in Sandton. Please put on your caps. Chief, morning. Hi.
Good morning. Good morning, guys. Thank you, Wayne, for keeping us on our toes. When I just want to jog your memory, I was in the tourism space as a budding or developing entrepreneur. I came to talk to, obviously I was, trying to establish a partnership with Avis. I came to your offices, I think it was in Kempton Park, right?
Yes.
Yes. And you came straight to see me. Can you believe how starstruck I was? I mean, Thabo, imagine the entire CEO. Coming to see this young entrepreneur. Wayne, I thought I should just give you a public acknowledgement for that. And you know how much difference it has made in my entrepreneurial journey. Yes,
I'm so happy. I'm so
but
happy.
keep up the good work, man.
Thank you, and good luck to you with your plans and that. And well done to you.
Thanks very much, Wayne.
Thanks, Chief. Thanks for a
Thanks.
wonderful call. Petro, you are in Swane. Hi, Petro.
Hi. To you and to Wayne. Wayne, I worked with you. It's also jogging a memory. I worked with you at Avis in Pretoria, and you were my manager in sales. Well, you ran the whole branch. And you were exactly the same that you are today. You had this floppy white hair, blonde hair. I promise you. And he was the most attractive man. He still is, but I mean, those years he was very attractive. And we all loved you, not because you were attractive, because you were so fair. And you were the most wonderful manager. And I then moved on from Avis rent-a-car sales to Avis Fleet Services, working for David. You will, and he became my father, my next father. But so Wayne, thank you for everything you are doing for this country. You are one of the shining stars, and may God bless you, and may you go so well. And thank you for everything.
No, thank you very much. You moved me.
Thank you, Petro. What a beautiful memory. Bit of nostalgia there, hey? 29 minutes to 11 o'clock. Sfiso Zulu will give us the latest on eyewitness news. Morning, Sfiso.
Thanks, Thabo. Good morning. The Madlanga Commission will be heard in camera today following an application by a witness citing safety and security concerns for himself and his family. He also cited the need to protect an ongoing investigation and its investigative methods. This morning, the Commission heard that the application is supported by the evidence leaders. Thousands of Malawian migrants are being moved to another location in Durban to ease overcrowding at a temporary centre that's been housing them. For more than a week now, the foreign nationals had been camping at the Sherwood Community Centre seeking help to be sent home, and the eThekwini Metro Municipality says today's move will make it easier to start the deportation process. And a former Nigerian oil minister has been cleared of taking bribes from wealthy oil executives in the form of luxury homestays and lavish spending sprees in the UK. Dizani Alison Maduke was found not guilty after a trial at a London court of 5 counts of accepting bribes and a charge of conspiracy to commit bribery. And those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 11 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Let's start in Eldorado Park with delays on the N12 East between Klipspruit Valley Road and the Golden Highway. That's due to an accident, about a 20-minute hold up there. While traveling in Amalgam, delays on the M2 West between the Crown Interchange and Main Reef Road. Heading towards Bedford View, do expect delays on the N3 North. This is just as you come out of the Geldenhuys Interchange. That's due to roadworks there. And in Bedford View, an accident on the R24 West that happened just before the Giluli's turn off. It's causing delays coming out of Edenville Road, and in the city of Tshwane we've got some issues along the R55 approaching the N14 exit, and that's due to roadworks. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
When the people of Joburg unite for 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk on Sunday, 26 July, your safety is our priority. Working closely with the South African Police Service, the JMPD, private security teams, emergency services, city wardens, and other key stakeholders. There's a complete and comprehensive safety plan in place every step of the way. And there's a safe park and ride to start at Ellis Park thanks to Gautrain and Prasa. So come along and walk the iconic inner city with us by entering on primemediaplus.com now. The 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the city of Joburg. Walk the talk, walk with the people, for our Josie. Babize bonke. More on primemediaplus.com.
It was actually a flawless process.
It definitely pays to switch.
I wish we had done it sooner.
Outsurance Business Insurance clients know that it pays to switch. And did you know, when you claim, your excess is a fixed amount, not a percentage of the claim. For beauty salons, convenience stores, and all other businesses. Get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Excuse me. I'm hungry. Hungry for equal education. Hungry for employment. Hungry for dignified healthcare. Hungry for all the things our parents fought for. On June 16, 1976, Tsietsi Mashinini had the same hunger. Read The Gripping Story, A Burning Hunger by Linda Schuster. Available at all good bookstores. Feed your mind.
FNB Private has just been named South Africa's best private bank at the prestigious Euromoney Global Private Banking Awards 2026. And to unpack what that means, 702 is in conversation with FNB Private for a 3-part series exploring the ideas, values, and strategies behind one of banking's highest honors. Each week, John Perlman goes deeper into the award itself, sustainability and investment, and with the experts driving FNB Private's vision forward. Catch 702 in conversation with FNB Private every Thursday on Afternoon Drive with John Perlman. FNB Private, your long-term wealth partner.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
702 indeed. My guest, Wayne Duvenage. My name is Thabo Shola. Happy to be with you. Clement is not here. I'm in his stead up until 12 o'clock. And I have been receiving some interesting texts and voice notes, and we will play them. This is on the occasion of hosting Wayne Duvenage on Hanging Out this morning. You know him very well. He's the Chief Executive Officer of OUTA. He has done many other wonderful things in the previous. Now he is Chief Resident in charge of anti-corruption and everything else that is not good that he intends to fight. He started off with the e-tolls, went on to other things. He grew up in KwaZulu-Natal, northern KwaZulu-Natal, in Newcastle, a Bachelor of Science degree at the University of Natal, and many other wonderful things, but generally a wholesome, wonderful human being. And now we are chatting to him. So I see some of your texts have been coming through. I think let me do justice to them before we move on to other things, because I'll forget and you'll get mad at me for asking you to send stuff, yet I don't read it, and you'll be well within your rights to do that. Let's go to this one. Jabulisile from Midrand says, good morning, Thabo. Thanks so much, Mr. Duvenage, for your contribution, dedication, sacrifice, and love for this country. Thabo, please say it loud and clear. Wayne is one of the remarkable sons of South Africa, Azania. And this is Ish in Morningside. Was that clear enough, Ish? I think it was. Wayne is one of the remarkable sons of South Africa, Azania. I've said it again, Ish, in case. And this is, this is the legendary Ish Mkabela. He of the Black Consciousness movement back in the days. Wow. I think yeah.
Lovely man.
Lovely man indeed. And then how does one make a small monthly contribution to this brilliant organization called OUTA? Nevertheless, keep up the good work. Community and national duty, Mr. Duvenage. And this comes from Mweketsi Matlala Mox in Alberton, 22 minutes to 11 o'clock. Wayne, I think perhaps it's only in retrospect that we consider our contribution, humble as we may think it is. Looking back, was it worth your time to say no to Avis, although the circumstances were somehow? Is there anything that you regret about that decision, swapping ship?
Well, the only thing is it's a monetary value. You know, you have to live off when you build an organization like this and you don't have the funding, and what you do raise goes to all the legal costs, which is why we built the new OUTA, saving a lot of legal money. So you have to. I didn't draw a salary for 4 years.
Wow.
Had to live off savings. That's the only regret. But I would do it again because of it's become much bigger than I thought it would. Never envisaged this. And it's been an amazing learning, and it's been an amazing experience for the country, I think.
Sure.
So, no regrets, a lot of learning. Would I have done things a little bit differently? Yes. Would have put in the funding mechanism. This is a crowd-funded organization. We couldn't do it without the support of the people. And to the previous question, it's very quick, 5 minutes on our website at outer.co.za. You can sign up. And no donation is too small.
Yeah.
The average is about 150 a month, the price of a pizza. And there's a nice saying by, I forget his name, but the biggest mistake is by the people who do nothing because they thought that they could only do a little, and that doesn't really help. Every bit helps. If we had everybody saying that their small amount won't make a difference, we wouldn't exist. So please come on board. We need every bit of support we can get.
Wayne, I am going to endeavor to play one of your songs that you chose, because that will also give us a bit of insights into who you are as a person. And I don't know which of these you'd prefer that you've given us.
Bright Blue.
And Bright Blue.
Weeping.
Let's go straight to it. 20 minutes to 11 o'clock. 072 702 1702. Feel free to send those voice notes.
Was the shadow of the demon he could never face. He built a wall of steel and flame, and men with guns to keep it tame. Then standing back, he made it plain that the nightmare would never ever rise again. But the fear and the fire and the guns remain. It doesn't matter now, it's over anyhow. He tells the world that it's sleeping. But as the night came round, I heard its lonely sound. It wasn't roaring, it was weeping. It wasn't roaring, it was weeping.
What a beautiful tune. And you were saying that it is an activist song, Bright Blue, 1987.
Yeah, Dan Heyman, I think is his name, wrote that. Yeah, you can see how subtly he weaved in the Nkosi Sikelel, protest is so often done through music. The messages get home. It's a way around all the restrictions at the time, and I really fell in love with that song. It was an eye-opener.
I want to ask you about putting together a team of outer as you've decided to move, because at times good intentions don't necessarily become a good project. And it must be hard. And working with human beings is just something else, because you intend for this objective, but it can always be interfered with by various nefarious processes.
It was.
Did you experience any of that? Say something about that, bringing together a good team. Perhaps someone is not a good fit in the team.
It happens. When you're growing fast, when we started to get the funding model right, and we were building our strategy, and when you build strategy fast and on the go, you start to plug square pegs with round holes sometimes. And then you're changing the strategy because you realize you need more strength in this area. This is not opening a restaurant with textbooks. This is building a civil activist movement that was going to be very different. We didn't want to just expose. We wanted to hold people to account. We'd learned about the high costs of lawyers. We wanted to employ our own legal team. We needed to get good investigators in. We learned how powerful communications is, empowering people with knowledge. We had to get good communications specialists in, using social media, engaging with the media. And now we doing a lot more video stuff. So all of these pieces were coming together. So you can be good in business, but you've got to now build a civil activist movement, and that's a very different recipe. But what I did make sure is that we ran it like a business. So we put in place governance, we put in place systems. We've got an HR department, IT, that makes sure our systems are not penetrable. Finance, you've got to manage the finances, you've got to manage your supporters and customer databases and so forth. And then legal teams, Stefani and her team, and Sam and the comms team, Julius. We've got some real amazing people, but we didn't get there overnight. It's taken us years. The structure's changed a few times, and structural change while you're changing and building strategy can be extremely disruptive. We've had to move people out. We've had to deal with board changes at times. It wasn't easy, but here we are. It's a well-oiled machine now.
Without necessarily reflecting on individual identities, and because I know it's not your style, I would have gone there, but out of respect for how you do things. But big names don't necessarily mean competence and effectiveness.
Absolutely.
That you draw into a structure like this. At times, it could be contrary to that. Exactly.
And I was thinking that we could do that in one or two occasions, and it was a mistake. That's part of the learning that I've had to go through. When you realize there are other agendas at play, but I'm a very trusting person sometimes, and I will go with my gut, and you won't always get that right. So in that, we've introduced proper profiling when we bring people on now. We understand it. We make sure we know exactly what we're looking for. And then we take time to find the right people. But we also grow from within our staff. I mean, I remember our office cleaner who wasn't even working for us. We employed her to run a reception. She's now working in our supporter database department, growing. I love watching growth like that.
Also, what would you say was your biggest win? Notwithstanding e-tolls, because I mean that's a huge one. But after that, I'm thinking, just as Nelson Mandela had said, that after climbing the mountain, you realize that there are many more other mountains to climb. Yeah. So what was the subsequent mountain after the e-tolls that you summited, and you were very proud to have gone there?
Okay, so we've done 355 projects since the one e-toll.
What?
Yeah. A lot of them are quick. A lot of them are submissions to Parliament and that. A number of them go to court. Some of them take years. and a lot of them around transparency. We work with whistleblowers, but I can tell you the biggest project impact was the car power ships one. And very briefly, had we not fought that, we would possibly have 3 ships parked in our harbors giving us 1,200 megawatts of electricity, which we didn't need, and we'd be locked in for 20 years at a cost of a minimum of 250 billion rand. And that deal was a bad deal for this country. We had to go to court and slow it down. They didn't have the environmental protection. What did Cyril Ramaphosa do? He introduced this state of disaster on electricity. We had to go and interdict that, and we won that. Well, they capitulated, and we eventually stopped that deal from going through. It wasn't only us. There were other parties on the 2 different cases, but we had to bring 2 cases. We were the common party on both. And long story short, that one project to save this country billions of rands. A number of others, but a lot of them you can't measure. You know, when you're giving input in Parliament, when you are actually engaging with people in positions of power and they change, and forcing people like Bladen Zamande to fire somebody like Andile Nongogo, the CEO of NSFAS, after trying to protect him, eventually came around and had to fire him. Those are big wins.
Sure.
The billions of lost
Yeah.
at NSFAS and the accommodation scandal that they tried to introduce. We've got an amazing team that fight this stuff, and I must give kudos to the whistleblowers. They are the source of amazing information.
9 minutes to 11.
You know when your people are giving their best, not because they're pushed or pressured, but because they feel supported. And support is making sure they're covered. So if something happens, they can get the care they need. FlexiCare Health Insurance makes it simple for every business to protect their people with affordable health cover. You care, we cover. For a tailored FlexiCare quote, speak to your financial advisor today. FlexiCare is underwritten by ANG, a licensed non-life insurer and FSP, and administered by Discovery Health, a licensed FSP.
Good morning, Mzansi. It's a beautiful Wednesday. It's Thursday. No. TGIF, am I right? Citroen Super Saturday is back. Yes. Test drive or buy any Citroen and stand to win a world-class rugby experience. South Africa versus New Zealand, 5 September. Double your entries with the all-new Citroen Basalt from 354,900 Rand with up to 40,000 Rand deal assist. Book at citroen.co.za. Runs till 30 June. T's and C's apply.
Hi, it's Harold with Netflix Father's Day Hotline. Nicole on the line.
Harold, I think my dad went into hiding ever since I bought him the leggings for Father's Day.
Leggings? Leggings for men? Ach no, Nicole, the man's trying to disappear before his circulation does. You put him in a tight spot down there.
I know. How are we going to make now?
Well, maybe start with something loose, something personalized like a gorgeous gown from Net Florist before the leggings reveal more than his personality, hey? The first 1,000 orders get a free box of lint chockies. Net Florist, that's easy to show you care.
It's your last chance to enter Nedbank Business Ignite on 702. Is closing entries soon. This year, we're celebrating entrepreneurs who've turned personal challenges into businesses that make a real difference. Catch 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa every morning to meet the finalists and hear their inspiring stories. Go to igniteyourbusiness.co.za or primemediaplus.com to enter. You could win 200,000 Rand and recognition your business deserves. T's and C's apply. See money differently. Nedbank, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Let me just quickly jump onto the calls as we are quickly running out of time. Who has been here the longest? Definitely Deline. Deline, morning. You're calling from 4 Ways High.
Hi, Thabo. Good morning, and good morning to Wayne. I just want to share a short little story of how Wayne got me to rebel. I grew up as a very law-abiding, rule-following citizen, and I'd actually gone to Sunrail to collect an e-tag and then heard Wayne on the radio with this vehement opposition to e-tolls and how it was an ill-conceived idea, etc. I was convinced immediately. I threw that e-tag away as soon as I collected it.
Well done.
And
you're an activist. You're an
yes,
activist.
You turned me into an activist, Wayne.
Lovely.
And
Thank
then
you.
from there on, I paid my annual dues to Alta every year, bonus time.
You're amazing. We need more like you. Well done.
Deline, thanks very much for that. Really appreciate it. Have a lovely day. Johnny, you are in Pretoria.
Good day to you,
Morning, Johnny.
Hey, morning, Johnny.
And my brother, Wayne Duena.
Hello, brother.
I just need to say, to register my thankfulness to you for having saved us the trouble, the inconvenience, and the rip-off by the ANC government, by installing these e-tolls, illicitly so.
Absolutely.
I must say, dating back to those years where you used to send us, I don't know where you got my or our emails, but I used to receive a long list of, a flood of emails from you updating us about the progress and encouraging us that these things were not legal. And today, even my family, I told them not to, although they did it behind my back sometime when I was away, they paid. But I told them not to be paid for by us. Now, in conclusion, I just need to ask you, if there is a fund that you need us to contribute to for weighty causes like this and many more, please divulge the details. I don't have much. I don't claim to have much, but I'll be willing to
any amount helps.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I will do that. Should I do that?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead,
so look, you must know that civil activism is not funded by anything other than the people. Certainly ARTA and a few businesses, but 70-80% of our money comes from small donations through a debit order system. You can cancel it at any time. No amount is too small. Just remember that. Your 50 Rand a month, your 200 Rand a month, whatever it is, it all adds up. And these thousands of people, we call them activists, they're our supporters, make our work possible. It costs a lot of money. Our model is to employ people at market-related salaries, professionals. Otherwise, you have people, volunteers come today, gone tomorrow. We have to run this like a business.
Sure.
And all of those people who've been donating to us, you just go to arta.co.za if you want to increase your donation. Inflation does catch up. If you want to be new, you'll get our newsletters monthly. And I can tell you, you will feel part of the movement of activism to change this country. And we've got a lot of work to do to change this country.
Sure. Wayne, in closing, what sort of cases do you deal with? I can hear some whispers at the back, some people saying, I want OUTA to know about this. Which cases do you have?
Yeah, look, we've got a very safe whistleblowing platform on our website at outa.co.za, whistleblowing. You can do anything anonymously. All we want is facts. We get a lot of hearsay, we get a lot of this. We deal with corruption. This is waste of taxpayers' money. Deals that are going down. If we get the facts and we get them quickly enough, and it's good information, our legal team and our operations team, accountability team kicks in. They'll try and engage if they need to, but they can engage anonymously with through that platform. It's an offshore platform. It's very safe, and that's what we do. We can't get to everything. We're a small team. We should be double our size. There is just so much corruption, so we have to pick our fights.
Sure.
So sorry if we can't get to everything that you ask us to, but we're doing our best.
Have you thought of running for office?
I've learned never to say never. Politics wasn't on the radar. I'm committed to this for now, but I think 2029 has to be a changing year for this country. Something has to happen. If something happens and it's a country duty thing that makes sense, I would consider it then. But from now till then, OUTA is my life.
You had it first on 7:02. 2 minutes to 10 o'clock, to 11 o'clock. Wayne Duvenage, CEO of OUTA. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Toba. I just want to also say thanks to my lovely wife, Helen. She's my backbone.
Your friend's cell phone just got stolen. Now they're using yours to find out if it was covered outside of their home. Turns out it wasn't. Meanwhile, Santam covers your cell phone anywhere, along with your laptop and smartwatch. Even your bicycle would be covered, if you could ride one. You insured nice, not twice. Get cover for your valuables online or call 0860 444 444 to get a quote. Santam, this is freedom. Santam is an authorized FSP, a licensed non-life insurer and a controlling company for its group companies.
The XXL Savings Championship is here, and with Checkers, everyone can save. Get deals like Nescafe Classic Instant Coffee, 200 or 230 grams, any two for 219 Rand. Parmalat Yogurt Selected Variants, 1 kg, any two for 75 Rand. And Head & Shoulders Shampoo or Conditioner, 400 mils for 89.99. Valid until 21 June, only at Checkers.
When you can see what others don't, you can do what others can't. Nedbank is more than just a bank. We're a growth partner because we understand that real success happens when you're looking ahead, spotting opportunities others miss, and planning for tomorrow today. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently. Nedbank. We're licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. An independent opinion to Parliament's impeachment committee has advised that the members have strong legal grounds to challenge President Cyril Ramaphosa's attempt to interdict proceedings. The committee has been addressed by Advocate William Mokare today to help the committee determine what course of action to take, with tomorrow's deadline looming to indicate its intention. With the Constitutional Court having ordered Parliament to establish an impeachment committee, the members have been advised that a lower court may not have the right to interfere with that instruction. Ramaphosa wants the Western Cape High Court to halt the work of Parliament's impeachment committee until it has reviewed the independent panel report that has formed the basis for the Section 89 inquiry. That report found sufficient evidence for Ramaphosa to explain his conduct in relation to the US dollars stolen from his farm in Palapala in 2020. Lindsay Dentlinger has more.
Some political parties have appeared sceptical as to whether Parliament's impeachment committee has the standing to challenge the President's interdict application and whether this should not rather be left to the Speaker. But Advocate William Mokare says by virtue of it having been cited in the President's application gives the committee sufficient standing to represent itself. He's advised the committee that it could oppose the case on several legal grounds. This includes the Western Cape High Court's jurisdiction to hear the matter, since the country's highest court has already ruled that Parliament must continue with impeachment proceedings against President Ramaphosa.
Of course, we do appreciate that the President has the right to approach court and to ask for whatever relief he wants. But that does not detract from the obligation imposed already on this committee by the Constitutional Court to proceed to do its work.
Debate on what the committee should do continues. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The Madlanga Commission will be heard in camera today following an application by a witness citing safety and security concerns for himself and his family. He's also mentioned the need to protect ongoing investigations and investigative methods. This morning, the Commission heard his application and supported by the evidence leaders. Chair Mbuyiseli Madlanga says he's satisfied that with the substance of the application.
The testimony of witness J will be heard in camera. 2. The evidence leaders must make available to the media a transcript of the in-camera proceedings by no later than Monday, 22 June 2026.
Thousands of Malawian migrants are being moved to another location in Durban to ease overcrowding at a temporary centre that's been housing them for more than a week. The foreign nationals had been camping at the Sherwood Community Centre seeking help to be repatriated to their home country. The eThekwini Metro Municipality says today's move will make it easier to start the deportation process. Most of the foreign nationals say they want to leave South Africa ahead of planned protests against undocumented foreign nationals on 30 June. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports.
The eThekwini Metro Municipality has provided buses to assist with today's move. This essentially means another centre has been set up so that crowds are not congested while the process of deportation happens. The accused here with thousands of people preparing to leave the site. KZN Manager for Home Affairs Cyril Mncwabe says they are in discussions with their Malawian counterparts.
We've already spoken to the Malawian government representatives. As from yesterday, they understand the process, but we identified the lack of communication from their side.
Authorities are expected to visit the new site to access the process, while at the same time, a number of buses are set to leave Malawi later on. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Durban.
And a former Nigerian oil minister has been cleared of taking bribes from wealthy oil executives in the form of luxury homestays and lavish spending sprees in the UK. Dizani Alison Maduke was found not guilty after a trial at a London court of 5 counts of accepting bribes and a charge of conspiracy to commit bribery. Alison Maduke was Nigeria's oil minister between 2010 and 2015 and the first president woman of the oil exporters group OPEC. The verdict is a blow for the UK's National Crime Agency, which had been investigating one of Africa's most prominent political figures for 13 years. Gold is trading at $4,257.78 an ounce. The rand is at 16.34 to the dollar, 21.76 to the pound, 18.83 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $77.39 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 South approaching Van Buren Road. This is due to an accident while travelling on the Mark 1 North. Another accident seen before the Crown interchange, causing delays from Boyson's Road.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 17 and 19 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. An independent opinion to Parliament's impeachment committee has advised the members of they have strong legal grounds to challenge President Ramaphosa's attempt to interdict proceedings.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Visit primemediaplus.com to enter 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for our Josie.
For Joburg, by Joburg, in Joburg.
Bamise bonke.
702.
Live
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7.
And 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
You're on 702, 6 minutes after 11 o'clock. My name is Thabo Sholemashao. I'm with you till 12 midday. I'm in the stead of Clement Manyathela, who's not here. We're together till 12, as I've said. Great having you with us. In the previous hour, we had a lovely chat with one of the gems of South Africa, Wayne Duvenage. He was in studio. We spoke about this, that, and the other on the Hanging Out feature. I managed to play one song. The producers were ready to strangle me that I never play songs whenever we do our Hanging Out feature, so I was under duress. I must concede, I was under duress. I could have spoken to Wayne ad nauseam. We could have had chats forever and ever without being interrupted by music. But I was under duress. Sinazo gave me a look and I had to play music. But I loved it, and it was an activist song, by the way. So thank you so much for that. And I see some of your comments are still coming through. Thoroughly enjoy them. In this hour, though, we are going to look at the dialogue, and that's the feature on Thursdays that Clement has. I never move furniture, as you might have realized. And today we want to look at vigilantism and crisis of governance in South Africa. My guest has penned a very interesting piece, and I'll tell you all about it. Welcome.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
As a country, once again, we've been grappling with this serious issue, and it has to do with rising anti-immigrant sentiment. We've seen community protests and renewed debates around the migration matter. It comes and goes, but it looks like it's here once again. But beneath the headlines lies a deeper and perhaps a more troubling question. What happens when communities begin taking the law into their own hands, as we have seen? And what does this say about the state's ability to govern? So in recent article, Professor Lauren Landau, a migration and development professor, argues that xenophobic violence cannot simply be understood as an expression of public frustration or economic hardship, Rather, it raises important questions about governance, political leadership, and also accountability. And as South Africa continues to wrestle with these very serious and complex challenges, the real danger may not only be targeting of foreign nationals, but gradually the weakening of the law itself and our systems. We've invited Professor Lauren Landau to join us, and Prof is senior researcher with Wits University's African Center for Migration and Society. Prof, thanks for your time. Good morning. Welcome to 702. I hope you're good. Professor Landau, let's try one more time, maybe second time lucky, as I try to locate him on my machines here. Prof, I hope you can hear us. Not yet as there. We'll try one more time. But here's the issue that I thought we should speak to him about, because in his interesting article, he does mention that, of course, it is about frustration, and a whole lot of people have been pleading for validation of their frustrations and their anger and their temerity around these issues and economic hardships. But Professor Landau raises a more serious question, and then he says this could be a collapse of systems, a collapse of rule of law. We have seen various marches taking place in various cities in our country, and for some reason I've also wondered if all of them have been registered, if all of them have been okayed by the authorities, if the process has been followed for all of those marches to take place. But there are deeper questions, and I would like us to really engage meaningfully. I know it's an emotive issue, and I know in the past we fought, you and I, very bitterly about this. And so I would appeal that from my side, at least, I'll try to tone it down and not be as passionate as I was previously. And I would like us to truly engage with the facts at hand so that we are better informed after this discussion. 011-883-0702. One more time, let's try Professor Lauren Landau. Prof, are you there? I hope you are there now.
Hi, Thabo. Can you hear me?
I'm so relieved that I can. Thank goodness. Now I can hear you loud and clearly. Welcome, Prof. And this is a very emotive issue for a number of people. We often get text messages, and my colleague Bongani Bingwa was also saying that he did get some bit of negative reflex here and there when he raised this matter earlier on. But your piece really speaks to something that we may have ignored. You are saying that xenophobic violence is not merely the product of public anger or economic frustration, but it is often facilitated by governance structures themselves. What do you mean by this, Prof?
Right. I think for us, my colleague Jean-Pierre Misagwa and I, who wrote this article, there's a question, of course, about migrant rights and what people feel about migrants. And we fully support people's rights to march and to express their concerns. Not everyone needs to share an opinion about immigration. I think what we're trying to say is, look at who is leading these activities. So it's not just the March on March and the Judulas, but it's community associations who've used anti-foreigner sentiments, anti-foreigner violence to establish themselves politically. And what they're doing is they're basically establishing a political authority that's not the state. It's a political authority that doesn't follow the law. And it's a political authority that doesn't recognize people's human rights. That's not just foreigners. We've seen that South Africans in Durban, when these associations work, are being kicked out. We've seen that people from the wrong political leanings, or people who won't support a local gangster or chieftain, are also being kicked out. And these are the organizations that the politicians are now dealing with and making deals with. And that is something that scares us, and we think it should scare everyone who lives in South Africa.
We've also seen women ostracized on social media clips, by the way, for being women, and also for raising their views or somehow gesturing somehow and being kicked out. But my question also that I wanted to ask, that, I mean, you suggest that xenophobic attacks aren't spontaneous eruptions, as you've said, but are often more organized and than meets the eye. Who do you think is behind this? Is there any bigger political objective that is being pursued, Prof, through these marches?
Right. So there's many different manifestations of this violence. We go back to 2007 in Motherwell, outside of PE. We see there that the violence against, then it was Somali shopkeepers, was organized by a local business association who was not keen on the competition that these shopkeepers provided. That's small scale, it's local, but what we're seeing now is something different. What we're seeing now is something that looks much more national. It's obviously much better funded, much better coordinated. They've got a big social media presence. They're negotiating with national government. They met Helen Zille yesterday. They basically set the government's agenda. Is there an agenda behind that? For sure. We don't know all of the actors. It's a bit shady. There's definitely some who want to undermine the ANC's position to try to win power, whether that's Action SA or whether that's the MK or whether that's the IFP. But all of these groups are fighting for a position. These groups are using anti-xenophobe, anti-immigrant sentiments to try to prop themselves up, to try to insert themselves into the political space. How they're doing that, how it's financed, that's something the police should know. Hopefully they do know, but there's definitely an agenda here.
Is the state complicit somehow, maybe willingly or not, subconsciously or not, in the eruptions of these violent attacks?
Yeah, part of the argument we make is that the state has helped basically co-author or co-produce these attacks. Not necessarily that the state has led them, although we're seeing an increase of anti-immigrant statements from elected officials, people in high positions. We see that in the white paper, a kind of turn against the region, a turn against immigrants. But what we've really seen is that the state has not prosecuted people who've led this kind of violence in the past. We often look back at 2008, that sort of first big eruption of attacks on xenophobia, and say, what did we learn from this? Usually that's a question of how do we prevent this? But I think what people have actually learned from that is that xenophobic mobilization pays, that you can get away with it, that you can become elected as a councillor, that you can reinforce your position, that you can profit from it. And that is what we're seeing. And the state has done very little to do that. Yes, there's been court decisions against Operation Dudula and others, but then the state doesn't enforce it. The state instead abets this. And we've seen this again more recently in some of President Ramaphosa's speeches, where he has essentially legitimized not the violence per se, but the sentiments behind it, sentiments that are not based on fact, but sentiments that are convenient as a distraction from the political failings of the ruling party and others in power.
What are we not hearing, Prof. Landau, myself and you and others who have been criticized for not being sensitive to the needs on the ground, what ordinary people are saying? And I'm saying that sincerely in order to reflect as well, self-reflect. What are we not hearing? Because often we are accused of being insensitive. The people are going through this, but through our privilege, we see this through different lenses. Is there something that we are missing as we are pursuing human rights, trying to get individuals to see some sort of rationale that even if every single migrant may leave today, our solutions, the problems will still be here by and large? Is there something that we are not hearing that the communities are saying?
I think there has been a huge disconnect between those who are in privileged positions, and obviously that we're having this conversation today is a sign of that privilege,
Sure.
but also with people in privileged positions in government who have become disconnected. And part of what we see, whether it's protests against immigrants, whether it's protests for any other reason, this is what people must do to be heard. And people have extraordinarily strong reasons and justifiable reasons for being angry, for being disappointed with where their lives are. Services have failed. The politics have failed people. They are not being heard. I think what people are not hearing more generally is those frustrations. And one of the things I think that we haven't really talked about enough is the degree to which it's not just people turning against immigrants here. They are turning against each other, whether that's someone from a neighboring township, whether that's someone from a different ethnic group or sort of political affiliation, that this is also something that's showing up in people's complaints and their concerns, not as loudly as the anti-immigrant side. But this kind of conflict is something that should worry all of us because it's dividing communities across the country.
19 minutes after 11 o'clock, Professor Lauren Landau is my guest, and we are looking at migration, vigilantism, and crisis of governance in South Africa.
The world's best male and female paddle players are coming to South Africa. The historic Premier Paddle Pretoria P1 will be at Sunbet Arena Times Square from 26 July to the 2nd of August. Expect world-class action, unbelievable energy, premium hospitality, and an atmosphere unlike anything South African sport has seen before. This is Africa's biggest paddle tournament ever, and tickets are selling fast. Don't miss your chance to witness the sport's biggest stars in South Africa. Get your tickets now at primemediaplus.com.
Joburg, it's time to show up for our city. On Sunday, 26 July, join thousands of Joburgers for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, proudly partnered by Standard Bank. Walk through the heart of Johannesburg, celebrate its rich history, and experience the exciting growth taking place in the CBD. A committed partner invested in the future of our city. Standard Bank invites you to be part of a movement helping to build a stronger, safer, and more vibrant Josie for generations to come. Register today and take part in the walk that brings Johannesburg together. The 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, proudly partnered by Standard Bank.
At Specsavers, we're committed to offering affordable and professional eye care. That's why we're offering 1,500 Rand worth of savings with our winter promotion. Get a free frame up to the value of 1,500 Rand, or use the 1,500 Rand on one of our leading vision enhancements, like Climate Eyes, which automatically adapts to changing light. To qualify, simply purchase a comprehensive eye examination and prescription frame and lenses. Affordable eye care, Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
Kaelo Lifestyle, a mental wellness and support program for employees and their families, is calling on you to take a step towards better mental health. As the mental wellness partner of 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, Kaelo is bringing even more purpose to the walk. From checking in with yourself to celebrating connection, every step is designed to support your well-being. So rally your team and walk for mental wellness. Visit primemediaplus.com for more information. Kaelo Lifestyle, changing lives and improving business. On 702, let's walk the talk.
For more about 702,
go to primemediaplus.com.
Professor Lauren Landau is my guest, and he is senior researcher with Wits University African Center for Migration and Society. We're speaking about migration, vigilantism, and crisis of governance in South Africa, as this very sentimental issue has come up every now and then, and many of us become emotional when we address it, and somehow it has divided the country. There are those who feel that we do not hear them. Some South Africans don't hear them when they raise the issue of undocumented migrants in South Africa. Prof, very quickly, I would like us to take Lehlohonolo, and then I know that you need to leave at 11:30. Then I'll continue with our discussion. Lehlohonolo, very briefly, welcome. You're calling from Midrand. Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Thabo. How are you? Good morning to you.
I'm well, sir, and you. The floor is yours.
Yes, Thabo, I'm addressing this to the professor that we must be careful. We must just be careful when a young black man or a young black colored that is unemployed, or a mother that cannot feed his own children tonight are coming out and crying for help. We must be careful on judging people and wanting to blame, to put a blame on the people. We all know that this has been the failure of the government in the past 30 years. The people are coming out and saying, listen, you couldn't sort this thing out in the last 30 years. So it's up to us, the voters, that needs to do that and sort this crisis out. And now you start, we start looking at people as if we start calling people like vigilantes and all those names, that people are vigilantes. These people are not violent. We have seen their marches over and over in the past 2 months, that there hasn't been any violence, but there has been somewhere where they are not marching. People are taking the law into their hands and using these people. Believe me, Thabo, some of us have got families in Zimbabwe and in other countries. You understand? But we're trying to understand because we are on the ground with these people who are suffering. We are trying to understand. So I don't know why we don't want to then support these people and say, we're lending our support. Let the rule of law rule.
Sure. Lekhonolo, point well taken. Prof, I very quickly, I know you need to leave in the next 5 minutes. I want to squeeze in as many questions as I can, if you don't mind. But propaganda is one thing, and I don't want to intellectualize the conversation, but some of us who've studied communication understand that agenda setting is a reality, propaganda is a reality. There could also be an exploitation of people's miseries on the ground, and it could be somehow narrated and directed to or misdirected to a wrong recipient. Are we experiencing this, or is it far more complex than that? It's not just black or white.
Yeah, I think that the last caller was a prime example of this. The crises that he's talking about, the hardships, someone whose son is hurt, goes to the police, doesn't get a response, the kind of frustrations that people feel, those are real. And they've become linked in people's mind with immigration. All of the evidence suggests that, yes, there are bad immigrants, there are people who do bad things. Immigration is not the cause of that. When he says we need to solve this crisis, we should all be working together to solve the crisis of service delivery, insecurity, joblessness, etc. But this is not an immigration crisis. It's the framing of it that has become so dangerous. And that is something that the state has continually repeated, that this is part of the crisis. And we have to ask ourselves, why is it that people are saying that? Who does that help? Is it going to help poor people who are suffering and who need help? Not really. It's going to help distract us from holding accountable powerful people, rich people, people in political office. And that's what they want us to do.
Have you ever given it a thought, or perhaps ventilated on the issue as to why it's mainly immigrants or migrants, undocumented as they may be, from SADC countries or from the continent, who bear the brunt of this anger and venom more than those who come from Eastern Europe or elsewhere in the world?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a few things going on there, and there's a lot of psychological explanations that people have offered. Our explanations are a bit more mundane. Basically, if you look at the elite immigrants who come from Europe, or when I say elite, I mean highly educated, wealthy, they're not interacting. They're not competing necessarily for jobs with people living in townships. They're not living in townships. What we've seen is conflict among the people who are living close to each other, who might be seen as competing for the same work. Most of the immigrants in the country are from SADC, about 80%. Those are the ones who live in townships. But we've also seen attacks on people from China, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and elsewhere. I think if you did see Europeans, or as you say, Eastern Europeans, trying to run a spaza shop in a township, we would see attacks on them. But those are not the people who are working in those sort of sectors. They're not people who are seen as immediately threatening. And yes, there may be psychological legacies of apartheid. There may be a kind of Afrophobia here. But I don't think we need those explanations. I think we can just look at what's happening and who is seen as prime competition for services, for schools, for jobs, and even, as we've heard many times, for women.
And one could argue those, perhaps the undocumented from Eastern Europe, some of them have been in the news for proliferation of drugs, guns, gangsterism, and all sorts of nefarious activities, and they're not targeted. One could argue that they're doing more harm to this country than those in spaza shops.
Absolutely. And if we look at even global capitalists and investors who are coming in and concentrating wealth in the hands of a few people while leaving most people without jobs and with only crumbs. Yes, those are the people who are causing pain to the country, but they're able to pay off officials and the police and others to come and go as they please. They're not the ones who are stealing water. They're not the ones who are disrupting all of the services. And I think we do need to keep in mind that it is not your person from Mozambique or from Zimbabwe who is in any way responsible for those systemic failures.
Prof, is there something to be said, and I could be wrong, feel free to put me in my place at any time on this thing. Is there something to be said about the strong ethnic Zulu nationalism that's rearing its ugly head in these protests through songs, chants, regalia, mannerism, and cultural expressions?
There have been accusations that March on March particularly is somehow connected to the IFP, to the Zulu royal family. I don't know if that's true, but I think that kind of very strong ethnic component is part of what worries us. It should worry us when any movement says they represent South African people, and yet they appear to be fighting for one particular group, whether that's an ethnic group or a political party or people from a specific area. So I think there's reason to worry. People I know in Durban and elsewhere who are not Zulu speakers often feel quite intimidated by those shows of force. And I think it is a question that we need to be debating.
Prof, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. I hope we can chat again in the next future. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Thabo.
Thank you. Professor Lauren Landau is with Wits University, and he was helping us to deal with our issue on the dialogue on migration, vigilantism, and crisis of governance on 702, exactly 11:30. Bailey Dlamini standing by to give us the latest on Eyewitness News headlines. Good morning and welcome, Bailey.
Thanks, Thabo. Good morning. Parliament's Impeachment Committee has been advised that it has a strong legal ground to challenge President Cyril Ramaphosa's attempt to interdict its proceedings. The committee has been addressed by Advocate William Mokare today with the aim of helping members determine what course of action to take. Ramaphosa wants the Western Cape High Court to halt the work of the committee until it has reviewed the independent panel report that has formed the basis for this inquiry. The trial of the men accused of murdering media personality Warwick Stock, popularly known as DJ Warris, continues in the Johannesburg High Court today. Alleged hitman Armindo Pakula and alleged mastermind Victor Majola are appearing together as the state moves closer to the start of the high-profile trial. DJ Warris was shot and killed outside the Zambesi building in the Joburg CBD in December last year. And the Madlanga Commission will be heard in camera today following an application by a witness citing safety and security concerns. He's also mentioned the need to protect ongoing investigations. The commission was established to probe allegations of interference in the criminal justice system. Well, those are the headlines. This EWN and more at midday or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Traffic in Eldorado Park remains heavily backed up along the N12 east between Klipspruit Valley Road and the Golden Highway due to an accident there. There's also queuing traffic along the Golden Highway between the N12 and the N1. Roadworks are causing these delays, so please be on the lookout there while traveling on the Mark 1 North bumper-to-bumper traffic between Coilet Drive and Grayston Drive. Roadworks are causing these delays. There's also a bit of a hold-up along the M2 West between the Crown Interchange and Main Reef Road. More updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
This July experienced a world premiere unlike anything Johannesburg has seen before. Bekai, an African choral ballet, is a first of its kind collaboration between Joburg Ballet, UJ Arts and Culture, the acclaimed University of Johannesburg Choir, and a live chamber orchestra from Johannesburg Philharmonic Orchestra. A bold reimagining of Euripides' timeless classic, this spectacular production fuses ballet, African choral, music, and live orchestral performance into one unforgettable theatrical event. See it from 3 to 12 July at the Mandela Theatre at the Joburg Theatre. Book now at Web Tickets. The Bekai, an African choral ballet, A landmark world premiere. Don't miss it.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Oh, Shane, do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers two options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual-action, soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple-action, pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
26 minutes to 12 o'clock. Thanks very much for joining us, Thabo, in for Clement. And we continue with our discussion as discussed a little bit earlier on. The Prof may not be here, but I rely on your astute tutelage, on your counsel, on your sage words and great thinking around this issue that we are speaking about: migration, vigilantism, and crisis of governance in South Africa. At times we've seen the police just being comfortable with the marchers, and people would be slapped around and they would do absolutely nothing. But also, it has also been said that if the government does nothing, people will occupy that vacuous space in order to express themselves. How serious is this issue? What are you feeling on the ground? How do you see it? Are we all becoming victims of an orchestrated, deliberate propaganda to misdirect us from the main objective in order to grab our attention elsewhere? Or could it be that there's legitimacy to these issues? We refuse to see it. We become too intellectual, and we are removed and have become aloof, thus too distant from what is happening on the ground. I'm asking these questions genuinely, because this matter keeps coming through over and over and over again. We have seen on our streets, march on march. I've said before that I'm truly uncomfortable with that. Why are these songs not agnostic, culturally so? Why can't we then sing songs that we all know? Why is it songs of Amabuto specifically? Why is the regalia specific? I've never seen a Setswana regalia there, cultural regalia there. I've never seen it. I haven't in those marches. I have never heard them singing Sesotho, Setswana, Venda songs. There are plenty of them. I've seen am I the only one? That dissuades me. That really dissuades me. It tells me that there's something at play that we are not seeing. Over and over and over and over again. I think we are being hoodwinked into something here. That is not to say, by the way, this is not a serious issue. That is not to say the queues at Baragwanath at times are so long because of undocumented migrants. That is not to say that. We are not saying that. But I would like us to genuinely engage with this issue. Seriously so. Convince one another, persuade one another with what's happening on the ground. 011-883-0702. Let's hear from you, and we'll take your voice notes shortly. Who's been holding the longest, Abel? I want to be fair to our listeners. Thompson from Midrand, you've been holding the longest. Morning. Welcome.
Morning, Thabo.
Morning, sir.
Thabo, here is my contribution to this discussion. What we see manifesting in South Africa now, it's the state, or I would say the character of what is.
Thompson, are you still there? Let's try Thompson one more time. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear
you were
me?
saying the state or character. That's where I left you.
Yeah, I'm saying what we're seeing is a manifestation of what has always characterized.
Thompson, let's try to get you on a better line, ne? Because that line is not doing justice to the important contribution you'd like to make. Michael, you're in Pretoria. Morning, sir.
How are you?
I try, my brother. How are you?
Sure, man. No, listen, man, it's a correction. You and Bongani, you seem to be thinking that the anger is misdirected to foreign nationals, in fact, the illegal immigrants, right?
Yes, sir.
Now let's fix that one. It cannot be a misdirection. You see, there are employers who employ illegal foreigners, and if illegal foreigners were not here in South Africa, it means those employers would not have anyone except for South Africans to employ. So therefore, the anger cannot then be said to be misdirected, because people are dealing with the people who are not supposed to be employed, but they get employed for being illegally in the country. So that one cannot be a misdirected anger. Secondly, people have shown
let's stop
anger.
at the first one, Seb, so that
Yes,
we understand
yes,
each other, so that we speak nicely to each other.
Yes.
On the first one, you are conceding that there are employers who deliberately exploit the system.
Exactly.
My good sir. Just want to. It's a quick point. I'll just finish it. Then I'm going to give you ample opportunity, because I think what you have to say is very, very important. So I was just saying, you are saying that the employers are exploiting the situation. And I am saying, don't you think that employers are also wrong to do that? Undocumented migrants are incidental in the story. They could also, in absence of the undocumented migrants, they could also look at the most vulnerable among us and continue to exploit us. And in that way, Michael, who's deserving of a job with that qualification, with that experience and competence, would still miss out anyway. I'm listening to you, good sir.
Yes, only if you allowed me to continue. I was going straight to employers now.
Okay.
To say our people, South Africans, have had a lot of times going to employers to protest about what they are doing. It's not that people just went to illegal immigrants to chase them. People did go to employers. There have been many protests that have happened in this country, directed straight to employers. Now, not only employers, also government. If you can count the number of protests that people have had, you will find that it's 5 to 6 digits. The number of protests people have had about government neglecting its people, about government not taking issues that people are raising seriously. So basically everyone here, government, employers, illegal immigrants, they are all equally to blame.
Thank you. I have to run. Yeah, I think you've made your point. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Michael from Pretoria. Let's go back to Thompson, who tried to make a point earlier. Thompson, we are all ears listening to you.
Yes, Tabo. Hopefully the network won't disrupt this time.
Let's hope so. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
Yeah. Tabo, what I was saying, this is something that I've been trying to say for the longest time. What you see manifesting right now, it's the nature or the character of society, or a black race, if I would call it that way. You know, we as a people, we have this inability of being organized. And then when we are not organized, then it manifests itself in a very chaotic way, which has always characterized us as a black race. What we have in South Africa is a governance failure. If you have a government that is not able to govern in terms of implementing laws to make sure that we are a society that is well organized, you are going to have this type of manifestation, which mostly are influenced by the way we are so hateful amongst ourselves. it's a scramble right now, because if you look at exactly where the problem is, illegal immigrants is just an excuse to fight one another because we are in a desperate state. People are not working. The economy is only owned by a certain few individuals. The majority are lacking. And what do? Instead of confronting the governance failure, we are fighting amongst ourselves because we are scrambling for these crumbs that we have always been fighting about.
Thompson will have to leave it at that and give others a chance as well. Tando, you are in Florida. Good morning.
Hi, Thabo. Look, I'm concerned about your neutrality in terms of facilitating this debate. It seems as if you are not being objective. You've taken a position and you are trying to coerce everybody into supporting your position. Now, unfortunately for you, South Africans are not buying it. The issue of migration is not only affecting South Africa. If you go to the United States, one of the reasons why Trump won those elections was exactly at the back of this problem of immigration. The UK is encountering the same challenge at the moment, and for some reason you choose to turn a blind eye to that. You want to make it as if it's an issue that's only presenting itself in South Africa. You talk also about a need to uphold the rule of law, but you can't be selective in upholding the rule of law. You've got to uphold all laws, including the immigration laws. But because it's not convenient for your position, you choose not to mention that, because it doesn't serve the agenda you're trying to push. So I'm just trying to say it's actually disappointing. I listened to an interview with that professor. You gave him a free pass. You did not challenge any of the things he was saying, which were quite controversial. You're supposed to be objective as the person facilitating this debate, and I think you are lacking that objectivity. Maybe somebody else should be facilitating this, not you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tando in Florida. 15 minutes to 12 o'clock. Who else has been holding? Slindile has been holding the longest. Ne? Yeah, holding longer than Chabu. Slindile, you are in Kagiso. The floor is yours.
Yeah, it's Sindile Tabo.
Sindile, sorry. It's my eyes. I apologize profusely for that.
Yeah, also have the same problem as the caller who just spoke, but I want to have a different view. Am I a vigilante, according to you?
What have you done? I don't know you. Allow me to ask, Sindile. I get you asked. Let me ask, then you can respond effectively. Yeah. Okay. I was asking, I don't know you. You're asking, am I a vigilante? Maybe you must tell me extensively what have you done in order for me to have an informed view and answer competently as to whether I can characterize you as a vigilante or not. I'm all ears listening to you.
I'm one of the people who marches against illegal immigrants. When you talk about this issue not being a migration problem, it's a government problem, it's a migration problem, it's my problem, it's a problem of somebody who keep these people in their back rooms while they don't have documents. So I'm one of the marchers who's been called a vigilante every day. I've went to Parliament. I know it's a government problem. It's a societal problem. We've done everything. We've went to Parliament, give them a memorandum. We've been on the streets. We're doing everything. It's an issue that has been happening for 30 years, and we've been crying. And everybody has been saying one day people will rise. When we rise, we call vigilantes. So I'm asking you, am I a vigilante fighting for my country?
All that you've said in the past 40 seconds is you've gone wherever to Parliament, and I asked, what have you done? You said you've marched. That's all that I've heard that you individually has done. So based on your response, I'm saying you've asked Sindile. But I mean, do you want us to talk or not? I am happy to say goodbye. You can finish your sentence. No, but you asked me a question. I'll be wrong again. I'll be the one who's not listening again. You asked me a question. Can I answer your question? Or should I not? If you prefer not, I'm happy to move on and not answer.
Let's answer the question.
Yeah, you've asked, am I a vigilante? I refers to an individual. You. And you've said you've marched. I haven't heard anything wrong that you have done other than march. So as a result, I don't think you're a vigilante. That's my answer.
So the group that I'm marching with, which is March and March, what have we done wrong?
But I have expressed, even at the beginning of the show, I have said I'm uncomfortable with the strong overtones of Zulu supremacy. And I have qualified it that the chants, the regalia, the war cries, the cultural expression. I haven't seen anything Sesotho, Venda, Tsonga, Swati, Ndebele. I haven't seen any of that. That's all that I've said. So to call anyone a vigilante, I haven't done that. I haven't said you're a vigilante.
Your colleagues have been calling us vigilantes.
Yeah, speak to them. They are very competent and assertive. Yes.
I always speak to them.
Yeah, speak to them then. I haven't. Yeah.
You talk about the Zulus and all those things. It's not my problem if you haven't seen the Shangans or the Zulus or the Sothos or whatever. Because you see the Zulus now, we are isolating us about the cultural whatever. That's how we choose to do. If I choose not to wear a T-shirt and go to that march and carry a traditional stick, it's my choice. It's got nothing to do.
Do they have Sesotho chants at March and March?
There's a lot of chances.
I'm asking a specific question.
Yes,
so don't dodge. When does what's a Pagelum target? Does he do Sesotho chants? I'm asking a question, bruh. No, it's a very simple question.
No, you say in a march.
Yes, no, in the march on march that I have seen. I've only seen the ones that have been led by Pagelum Tagat. Yeah. Does he do Sesotho, Sepedi, and Ndebele chants?
Maybe that's the problem.
No, I'm asking, bruh. Why are you problem time? You want me to become a problem, and I'm asking.
Tabo, in the marches, there's lots of things that are happening. I'm trying to explain to you that those things do happen. When you say Zulu marching or chanting, if somebody is not doing a Sotho one, does it mean that there are no Sothos there?
Agreed.
You choose what you want to do. But don't isolate those things off the Zulus and make it personal that these are the Zulus. Because the dominating people there who are most seen in TV is the Zulus. But there's a lot of people with a lot of problems that we are crying about. We're in those matches every day. You guys are not there. You are sitting in the studio.
Yeah, before I say goodbye, I'm only opining on the ones that I've seen. I can't opine on something that I haven't seen. That would be extreme stupidity on my side. The ones that I've seen, 99.9% of them are led by Pagelum Tagat. I've led by Pagelum Tagat. So I haven't had any of that in all those that I've seen. 10 minutes to 12 o'clock.
In fitness, as in finance, endurance is key. If you're 55 and older, you can get an interest rate of up to 10.25% with a Nedbank Electronic Optimum Plus account. Now, feel the earn. Invest within 2 minutes on the Money app and get money fit with Nedbank. See money differently. Nedbank, we're a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. For more info, go to nedbank.co.za.
It's lunchtime and Mr. D has you covered. Open the app, pick up your favorite meal and enjoy free delivery between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. No restrictions, no hassle. Skip the lines, stay at your desk and let us bring you lunch. Let us bring lunch to you. Plus, every food order on the Mr. D app gives you a chance to win exciting prizes. Download the Mr. D app now and make lunchtime effortless.
Gauteng is currently experiencing high water consumption. To avoid water interruptions, residents are urged to use water sparingly to allow equitable supply. Act now, save water. Every drop counts. This message is brought to you by the Department of Water and Sanitation, Rand Water, Gauteng Provincial Government, City of Johannesburg, City of Tshwane, and City of Ekurhuleni.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy, a pulse, and a feeling connecting everybody. The heart of Mzansi.
It's Joburg, you know?
In celebration of this, 702 has partnered with Jozi My Jozi, and we're calling on you to walk through the city center with us.
Walk the talk.
In the 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk. Babize bonke. On Sunday, 26 July, we're going to the iconic Joburg CBD, the home of dream creators and operators, where we dominate and history make. So join us and be a part of something special.
I'm ready to rock this book.
Because when Joburg walks together, extraordinary things happen. Enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk this July, hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for the people, for our Jozi. Babize bonke. Enter Walk the Talk now on primemediaplus.com.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
011 883 0702. And we are still continuing with our discussion on the dialogue. We spoke about migration, vigilantism, and the crisis of governance in South Africa on the backdrop of a piece written by Professor Lauren Landau, a migration and development professor, who argued that xenophobic violence cannot simply be understood as an expression of public frustration or economic hardship. Rather, it raises an important question about governance, political leadership, accountability, and growing influence of vigilante and non-state actors in communities where trust in public institutions eroding. 011-883-0702. I'm going to take your calls very quickly, mainly because of time. We have only about 3 minutes. So let's go straight to who's been on. Jabu in voice. Jabu, hi.
Yeah, morning. Look, I just want to be practical and brief about this issue. So you've got the Sherwood Hotel or Sherwood Hall in KZN, and it's got 8,000 plus minus 8,000 illegal immigrants. And then imagine those illegal immigrants, they are almost in the same vicinity. They are almost 8,000. Then you take the number 8,000 and then you start to allocate, because they seem to come and reside in the same, like informal settlement. You look at the clinics within that area, now it's got an influx of close to 8,000 people. You look at the hospitals that are there, you look at the schools that are there. There is no way that public services will be able to, accommodate. And remember, public services are almost free and so forth and the like. So you'll find that the locals that are unemployed and they're no longer getting any services at all. And the other thing is that most illegal immigrants that stay in the townships and the like, those are poor fellow Africans who don't have any proper education and so forth. And when they come in here, they don't have papers. They know what they're doing is illegal.
Yeah.
So when they come in here, since they don't have papers, they can't work, they can't find proper jobs and the like. And then what do? They resort to cable theft. They resort to stealing telecom infrastructure. You look at all the.
Go to Jabu. I have to run and give others a chance. Yeah. I think you've made your point. Thank you so much. Let's go. Who's been holding the longest? Definitely Kulegani in Velte Vreden Park. Morning, Kulegani.
Morning, how are you doing?
I try, my brother. Your point, please. I have little time. Don't say I'm cutting you, ne?
All right. No, I just wanted to talk about the Zulu nationalism point. I think that is a misguided view because, yes, the Zulus are leading the marches that we can't run away from. But to compare with what happened in the 90s, I think is misguided. The only difference here is you will see that these marches are going to different provinces, being joined by different people. Just an example is the march that was there in the Eastern Cape. There was a march in the province of Eastern Cape. Yes, led by Zulus, but those are different ethnic groups. So I think that's a misguided.
Sure, but then 1990s reference was not from me. You must have heard it from Zwelinzi Mavavi earlier on Bongani's show. It didn't come from me. I've never referred to the 1990s reference now.
I did, yeah. But I'm saying that it's becoming a common. Yes.
I see.
It's becoming a common
made.
thing that
Sure.
the Zulus are doing like what was done by the IFP and all that. I think the professor as well spoke about the IFP and all that. Which is a misguided view.
Okay.
I think also having that professor there was wrong because he himself is a foreigner. So I think that's just wrong.
Thank you. Kulegani, thank you. Now I'm looking forward to the day when these marches will go to Bedford View and they'll go elsewhere around, Eastgate, and they will challenge also other people from other continents. I look forward to that. And I can't wait to see what the police will do when that happens. I'm really looking forward to that. 3 minutes to 12 o'clock.
Attention! Are you 18 to 30 years of age? Is your bedroom giving basic? It's time for a transformation. Cashbuild's Pimp My Room is back. Selected contestants receive 10,000 Rand for a room makeover, plus amazing advice from our expert partners. The winner walks away with a big prize of up to 60,000 Rand to finish their renovations. Follow Cashbuild on social media to get one step closer to your dream bedroom. Cash Build.
Every great business starts with a problem. One you may have experienced yourself. Nedbank Business Ignite 2026 is looking for entrepreneurs who've turned that pain into purpose and built solutions that truly make a difference. If your business is generating between 1 million rand and 20 million rand, you could get the funding, mentorship, and support you need to grow with Nedbank as your partner, plus access to Simply Business to help you scale sustainably. So if you're solving real problems and ready to take your business further, visit igniteyourbusiness.co.za or primemediaplus.com or enter today.
It's time to get revved up. The Motor Select Rev Up sale is on, and we've got thousands of quality pre-owned vehicles at unbeatable prices. That's everything from city cars to 4x4s. Offer ends 30 June, so get to motorselect.co.za now.
Coming up
On the Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
Between 12 and 1, a show that you don't want to miss. A midday report with Mandy Wiener. Hi, Mandy. What's on the show?
Hey, good to be with you, Thabo. So quite a few things. The one first to be looking at is thousands of Malawians gathered in Durban to be repatriated. We'll speak to a reporter on the ground there. The impeachment committee has received a legal opinion today, and they have resolved to oppose the president's bid to interdict the Phala hearings. We'll get the latest on that. The IEC on its readiness for the voter registration weekend. We'll go to Prague and speak to someone there about the vibe ahead of tonight's World Cup game between Bafana and Czechia. And then our book of the week is about the enigmatic June 16th leader Tsietsi Mashinini.
I can't wait for that one. Written by Sam Mate. What a brilliant book. Don't miss Midday Report with Mandy Wiener between 12 and 1 on 702. It's been nice, lovely having a chat with you. Have a fantastic afternoon.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon. I'm Bali Dlamini. Parliament's Impeachment Committee has decided to directly oppose President Cyril Ramaphosa's application to interdict the work of the committee. The inquiry is tasked with investigating his conduct following events at his Phala farm in 2020, where U.S. currency was stolen. While the majority of parties have accepted an independent legal opinion that says the committee has the standing to do so, the DA is of the view that it doesn't. The party instead believes the National Assembly Speaker should oppose the application on behalf of Parliament as well as the committee. The President wants the Western Cape High Court to halt impeachment proceedings against him until it has reviewed the report that has given rise to the inquiry. Committee Chairperson Makashule Gana says given tomorrow's looming court deadline to indicate its intention, it was impractical to obtain a second legal opinion.
The prevailing opinion based on the inputs that have been made by the parties is that the committee needs to oppose the urgent application of an interdict by the president. So that is the prevailing opinion of the committee. I don't even need to put it to a vote. The numbers are such that those that are on the side of opposing they are in the majority.
The trial of the men accused of murdering media personality Warwick Stock, popularly known as DJ Warris, continues in the Johannesburg High Court today. Alleged hitman Armindo Pakula and alleged mastermind Victor Majola are appearing together as the state moves closer to the start of the high-profile trial. DJ Warris was shot and killed outside the Zambesi building in the Joburg CBD in December last year. State investigations have linked the killing to alleged disputes over inner-city building security contracts and eviction operations. Nkosikwana Malingamnisi reports.
When the matter last appeared in court, prosecutors indicated that their investigation had been completed. The probe included the analysis of cellular data from both accused, financial records, facial comparison evidence, as well as the